I'm doing good. Long off season. And we're stuck with these guys again.
Stuck.
Can you believe that they signed up again? For the
I'm excited to have these guys.
Tony made me.
Heartbreak train that they were on last season.
This was the head-to-head personality for Bass last year with
Absolutely.
these guys.
Oh, Lord.
100%.
It was so much fun, to sit back, commentate, watch you guys work. It was a riot. I particularly like the river stuff. When you guys were in the river, that was awesome to watch that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you guys, phenomenal last year. Great ambassadors for head-to-head, great ambassadors for everything.
We're here.
We're here.
About to kick the season off. This is the head-to-head media day. This is kind of the replacement for the Meet the Anglers. This is basically going to be head-to-head speed dating. We're going to get some guys on
sweet.
We're going to get guys on for 10 or 15 minutes, kind of banter about the season, maybe get some preseason predictions, and then on to the next.
Is there any swiping on our part?
Yes.
Okay,
Right. Yes.
good. Well, I'm unemployed. I live in my mother's basement, and I have zero hopes.
Oh, gosh.
What you got?
That sounds like good for him.
You are some credit card debt away from being a professional bass fisherman.
He didn't mention that part, but he probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom said she'd, sponsor me.
Perfect.
If you spell Mom upside down, it's wow.
That's right.
All right, let's talk about this season because there's some pretty good changes to the format that's coming up. Instead of being, a morning and an afternoon, it's just all morning session.
Yep.
The weight for a scoreable, that's come down.
On the bass side, it has come down to 1 pound.
1 pound. So, you go back and look at last year's events, that's going to change.
It changed our
difference.
record big time last year.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and the other big thing is last year all the events were on the Winnebago system. This year, moving around quite a bit where we're going to see different bodies of water, different times of the year. Tyler and I, we're pumped for this schedule. I mean, this is a great schedule. How do you guys feel about going into this year, the schedule?
I love it. The adversity or diversity of the waters, just having to change and plan ahead.
We're not going to see what we saw last year where guys milk the same places for week after week after week.
And you won't look at the Winnebago system and say, I never want to fish here again.
Exactly.
I thought it was going to be fun. Not that last year wasn't fun. I was just sick of the system by the end of the year and was like, if I don't have to come back here for a year, I wouldn't care.
Right.
I'm good.
Like
the only good part about that was I did not burn a lot of gas.
Yeah.
No, that's 100%.
I did not burn a ton.
Yeah.
100%.
This year will be a little different in that aspect of things.
Yeah, so let's run through that schedule quick. Event 1, April 30th, Little Lake Butamore. That was a gong show last year. Like, guys put up some big weights. That was where we saw some of the biggest bags of the year. That's why we're excited to go back there. Event 2, May 21st, Winnebago Chain. Event 3, May 28th, Little Sturgeon. Event 4, June 11th, Green Lake. Event 5, July 23rd, High Falls Flowage. Event 6, August 6th, Fox Lake. Event 7, August 20th, Wolf River. And then we conclude with the bracket championship on the Wapaka Chain.
Nice.
So we're going all over eastern Wisconsin.
I can't wait. Now, that's 2 less events
Yes, it is.
than last year.
Yep.
So,
But
all the teams will not fully get a shot to face off during the regular season.
Correct.
Right.
So, we could have teams in the playoffs that never met each other yet, which is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was a random generator. So obviously there are some teams who have a tougher schedule than others. That's just the way it worked. But honestly, it was that way last season too, depending on how the bite lined up on Bago. So I don't think it's going to make a super huge difference. But like we talked about last year, you could tell that the guys by like event 6, event 7, right after that break, were like, please just get me to the playoffs because we were traveling exactly.
And then we had to play, please just let us get into the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, event 8 and 9 were
do or die. I mean,
you
we
guys
had events that we thought were going to do really well and just couldn't get the 2-pounders.
Yeah.
Or again, if it would have been 1 pound last year, we probably would have been plus 3 wins, I would have guessed, because we were catching for a number of
Even if we'd have
games.
dropped it to like 1.8, 110, I think would have been good. But the 1 pound, I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
It's going to bring a different
I've seen
dynamic.
enough of it. I've seen you get into a certain class of fish in that spectrum, and you can get right in a hurry. It's just going to take you numbers.
Right.
So, after experiencing last season, going into the off season, it's like, what are kind of like hindsight looking back? What are some things that you go, you know what? This is something that we need to work on going into the 2025 season.
I wouldn't know if there's anything we necessarily have to work on. I'm more excited this year because we've had a year under our belt of fishing together. Because people don't realize we spent 2 days in the boat together before we even fished
event number one
last year. So we were still learning each other, how they fished, how they reacted on boats. And then towards the end of the year, we hopped in my boat. So then it was a new dynamic again because you're in a smaller platform. So you're learning that song and dance.
100%. I learned how much Tony the co-angler brings into your boat.
That's, I guess, something we've learned. I'm changing the whole dynamic of what I'm bringing, and I'm keeping a bag in the back compartment now that's going to be loaded with what I need.
Permanent.
Permanent. So
permanent residency. Are you charging him rent for that?
No. He's just like a bad relationship, just moving in. You wake up one morning,
I asked for
there they are. And
keep the toothbrush at the house.
Well, that's how it starts. There's his toothbrush and deodorant, and the next week there's underwear and socks, and it's like,
that's funny.
He's here to stay.
You guys, for not really fishing together in the same boat, you guys did well gelling together, and like when we sat back and you get to watch your decision making, how you work as a team, how you use each other's strength. You guys did really well, and there were some matchups last year. It's like you put a lot of weight on, but you just got the other teams fast, right?
Right.
There were some other teams that we saw that because a lot of the guys in head to head, they're strong individual anglers.
Yes.
And we saw last year there was individually too strong. Bring them together, it don't gel.
That definitely some
you have to be
heads.
humble and meek, where you still have the strong attitude, but you also understand there's somebody else that it's a team now you're working.
Right.
And I trust this guy with my life. And I trust the decisions he make, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. But
and there was events where only he could pre-fish or only I could pre-fish. So it was like you're putting all those eggs in that basket.
Got to put full faith.
Like
in
he
what
was
they're
gone
saying.
for a BPT event, and I went out and did all the pre-fishing, and then that tournament I was like, do you mind if I just run the boat? Because it's way easier for me. I know where to shut down coming into a spot so we can make it the most efficient and everything. He's like, yeah, go for it. Like, it's just things that we learned last year I think are just going to make us better this year, and I feel like it's going to be a lot stronger year, even though we're on a totally different schedule. But very excited for the schedule. There's a lot of cool bodies of water on there that are going to, I think, hit our strengths, I would hope, in most of the times of the year they're there.
I know I'm looking forward to a few of the bodies of water, but like one of the dumbest decisions I made was event number one. When we left that one spot, I let the wind convince me we couldn't stay here.
Right. Yeah.
And if we'd have just kept the poles down like my plan was.
Yeah. We could have rivaled Weston and Hoffman maybe sitting there.
Because that particular spot just loads up that time of year all day.
100%.
But I let the wind convince me.
Yeah.
It's going to by the time we changed our mind, it was too late. Somebody else was there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about another off-season adjustment. You have leaned up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So tell us about that and how you think that's going to help you.
I needed to make a change, man. I was way too big. We were just looking at pictures before. It was a picture from pre-fishing for Little Lake, and it was a picture from his boat of me standing in my little boat holding the fish, and I was like, I don't remember me that way. But yeah, last August, April to August, I had cut certain things out and just wanted to get healthier. And then in August, I finally decided to do carnivore after being encouraged by a couple people to do it, and it's changed my life.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many benefits. We could talk for 2 hours about why I did it and what the benefits have been, but the weight loss was just the total different side effect that I was expecting, but not expecting this well.
Yeah.
Mentally, I feel better. Physically, I feel better. Sleep better. So many different things that have changed.
You feel more agile, able to move around.
Absolutely.
My boat's going to go faster.
Yeah, it's going to go. So is my boat now.
Right.
Yeah. So what was the blueprint you used for that, or what are you following? You say carnivore diet.
Carnivore diet is meat, eggs, butter, and salt.
Okay.
That is all I eat. So I cut out. I was doing 1 to 2 energy drinks a day and a coffee in the morning. and still feeling groggy and doing all this stuff, like your energy levels on this is totally different. Like, I don't drink any energy drinks. I drink coffee in the morning out of habit.
Right.
And I've done decaf out of testing, and I don't get headaches because of just how my body operates now. And like, it's just totally different. And like joint pain is gone, all that kind of stuff. So it's been good. I'm down 60 pounds since the first head-to-head event last year.
Crap.
So yeah, I've lost half of a person essentially.
Dang.
Tony
for some people's weight.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm excited. I think it'll be better for me on the water too. We're fishing shorter days, but when you think of like an 8-hour event, being on your feet and taking that toll and pre-fishing and all that kind of stuff, it's only going to be better. So.
Yeah.
We'll have better snacks in the boat too.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which my wife
Stick of
makes sure
butter,
I have anyway.
meat.
You're right.
Yeah, stick
So
of butter.
stick of butter.
Do you have like a licking stick for
No,
butter?
licking stick, you just bite it. No, I like cold butter. You just cut it and eat a little chip of butter.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Butter's not bad for you, and neither is bacon. Just let everybody know that.
Oh,
like it's a
bacon.
fallacy.
Moderation.
Yes.
It's moderation.
Absolutely.
So what about like portion size? Do you have to worry about that as much?
Eat
or?
what you want when you want. If you're hungry, eat. I know people that'll sit down and have like 5 or 6 eggs and a steak for breakfast.
Wow.
Like typically for me, 3 eggs and some meat for breakfast. Lunch is a half a pound to a pound of ground beef, and then dinner is whatever meat we're doing. If it's chicken thighs or a steak or again more ground meat, whatever, because it's easy to do tacos with a 3.5-year-old at home. So,
Yeah.
So, and I'm doing all this with my wife and kids still eating normal. So some people are like, oh, I can't do it unless my significant other does it because there's too many temptations in the house. So you want to talk about temptations? Have a toddler snack drawer at the house. Right? I love candy. And like, you have his Z-bars, his fruit snacks, the fruit leathers, all these things. And it's just like, it's tempting me every day to be able to have that stuff. So, but yeah, no, it's persevered through. It's a good mental practice. And,
Yeah. Well, good for you, man. You're looking great.
So, appreciate it.
Well, we got a lot of anglers to cycle through, but I'm glad that you guys were able to kick it off. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Malika and Gagnow. Tony Malika, Jeff Gagnow. They were the number 7 seed last year. Fought the battle. They're grinders. I think that they're going to be a strong team this year, again, especially with the diverse schedule.
Not a number 7 team.
No. One more question before I let you guys go.
Okay.
I want hopes, fears, and dreams for this season. Hopes, fears, and dreams.
Hopes and dreams together.
Okay.
Championship.
Okay.
I love the Wapaka chain.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about it.
Dream would be to get to that championship.
Get to the championship this year. We were 1 round away, and I wouldn't even say 1 round away. Maybe we were 1 bend of the river away is what I want to say, because we didn't go to unexplored water. Fears, we make that same mistake where we don't make that decision soon enough on Little Lake, or don't go around that next bend that we haven't fished yet and not see what the unseen is. That would be mine, I would say.
Okay.
I would say, the dream would be to make it to the end to get to the Wapaka chain. The hopes would be to eliminate 1 dumb decision per tournament. And as far as fears this year I got none. Considering the diagnosis I got a couple weeks ago, I got nothing to lose this year. We are going to have a blast. We're going to kick the fish's tail, and I'm going to kick cancer's tail.
Good deal.
Not a problem.
Love it.
So
all right.
Do
thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Best of luck this year. Can't wait to see you guys.
Appreciate it.
I don't know. Who we got next? Who next?
I'm getting tagged out.
Oh, Mr. Nick Schertz is coming in. So for anyone who doesn't know, we are here on the sales floor at the Real Shot. If you couldn't tell by the backdrop that we have, we got some sweet deals going on for Media Day right now, online and in store. It is 25% off all bass and walleye hard baits and plastics. So stock up for the season. We got all sorts of good stuff, new stuff showing up every day. We're really trying to make this a badass shop like it's always been, and we're trying to stay on top of the trends with both the walleye stuff and the bass stuff. So we still got some awesome ice sales going on, but to kick off the open water season for Media Day, we got 25% off all bass and walleye hard bait. Nick?
What's happening, brother?
What up? Welcome in. Ready to talk some walleye fishing?
Yeah, I am.
Good deal.
I just got done with 3 days of it. So I got a pretty good head start on
Yeah. Yeah. What's new this season? What should we be expecting this season with the little change up in schedule? Got some new faces on the board. Got a whole bunch of cool stuff in store for the Walleye Series. So,
I think this year there's a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
First of all, there's a handful of guys that I know, and some of these guys that have been around quite a while.
Yeah.
And some real hammers coming in from Okada standing back there. We got Eric McCoy this year.
Yep.
And, some of those guys coming in. Sean Graham's guys that were experienced. So it'll really be interesting. There's always seems to be like a dark horse with the new guys coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see some new people. It by default creates a lot of new content.
100%.
It'll be a fun one.
We are joined by Bob Kloss and Nick Doc Ackley. He's all decked out in his Doc's gear. Heck yeah. How's it going, gentlemen?
Fantastic. Yourself?
Outstanding.
Good. I'm glad to have you guys here. You guys are first-time head-to-headers, correct? Head-to-head rookies this season?
Well, I did fish the very first year of head-to-head.
That's right.
I fished 3 events. I did a Green Bay, which was actually I did 2 on Green Bay. One was supposed to be out of Marinette, which got moved during COVID down to the Fox. So I fished that.
There was a fantastic meme that came out of that first event.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
If you remember back to that, I laughed rather. It made for a good laugh. Let's say that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And then I did 2 on Green Bay there and 1 on Winnebago. And the second one, my head-to-head luck wasn't all that good because the first event I lost by ounces to Scott Allen, who eventually went on to win it.
Right.
And Scott and I are good friends. And then the second event, we got blown off the rest of the week.
That's right.
So by default, our 8 was final after 1 day or 2 days, basically.
Yep.
So, and then Winnebago, same thing. I lost in a dink fest.
Dang.
To Rich Stadler, who he went on to do well. He didn't win it, but yeah. So,
well,
I'm the rookie. Is really
he's the rookie, right?
Yeah.
He's the real rookie.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess with your little bit of head-to-head experience and kind of the different format, how do you guys feel about that? You think your fishing styles kind of excel in this format, or you think it's going to be kind of an adjustment?
We've had a loaded discussion about that multiple times since we first decided to jump into this particular ring, and I think what we're most looking forward to do is just being in front of a crowd and explaining how we're going fishing for the day, which is, essentially what this format really promotes exceptionally well is showing people what pro fishermen actually go out and do in a boat in a day. It's
learning on the water.
Yeah, we talked about it going in, like Nick said, and decided that we're going to take this very casually and very focused on a learning experience for the audience and not so much
competition.
It is a competition, right?
Right.
It always will be. We're competitive guys. We've tournament fished for years. We've only fished in a boat together once.
Really?
Actually,
even though we're close and we do a lot together.
Spring, but we fish against each other on a regular basis.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob's got a few hours on the bay.
I was going to say.
Just a couple. Yeah. And a couple on Winnebago, both. But I got a few hours out there.
I think there'll be a lot of people that'll be excited to see, your style of fishing.
Yeah.
And knowing that you have so much experience out there, it'll be exciting for a lot of people to watch and see how you attack it and deal with the fronts and watercolor changes and weather and everything else.
Yep. And that's what we're hoping to bring to the game is to show that kind of stuff off. Like, how being a guide, how I daily adjust to things out there and have to make those changes.
I was going to say, through the guide service, you guys are both like fingers in the industry all the time, kind of got a pulse on what's going on and stuff. So I think that'll be a new kind of
right. Yeah.
I think that'll be a
that
good
heartbeat in my sleep, which is probably less than healthy, but it is what it is, right?
Right. Well, gentlemen, we are super pumped to have you guys. Like we said, like your Green Bay experience, we cannot wait to watch it all go down on camera. You guys both said that you guys actually had different answers on what you're looking forward to most. Bob, you said Event 7 on Green Bay, which should be a wheelhouse event. And Nick, you said Green Bay West Shore Event 2. So
that's because Nick needs a lesson on how to use hair jigs.
Yeah. So I really want to know a big secret. Hair jigs are my kryptonite. They're just, I don't know. It's like I touch them and I lose all my power. The sun goes away. I can't. I'm just terrible with them.
I have a feeling you'll be a believer.
I have a feeling.
Won't take long.
I have a feeling. What did you say to me? You said to me that I will be your Yoda.
Correct.
This year.
I'm gonna be
for it. So I was
I like that.
I'm in, man. If I can learn if I can learn something new, if I learned something new out of this entire experience, it was a win.
Well
all the
worth
way
it.
around. So
Good deal.
Well, that's a bait. Once you start getting the swing of it, you're not going to want to put it down.
That's I know that's my other concern because I own a fair amount of them now, but I'm kind of I'm a tackle.
Oh, here we
Right.
go. Here we go. Yep.
You know, all of a sudden you have a stack this high, and oh man,
There's
it's
another set of Plano boxes. Yeah.
The best part about it
Whole
is
other
it's
set
just
of
based on
boxes.
what I do. I can hide it. It doesn't. It just looks like more stuff came in.
Right, fits in with the
So,
business.
Exactly, it fits in with the biz, so nobody knows I actually. Especially my wife, she just rolls her eyes and said, "Whatever, I don't.
I guess.
Whatever you got to do."
I guess. We'll add on to the house.
Right. That was actually
more
a
garage
discussion.
space. More garage space.
Well, good deal. One last question for you gentlemen before we roll to the next set of guys. I want hopes, fears, and dreams for the season.
I don't know. I mean, my hope would be that the people watching, that we can get more people involved, and people watching will learn something from what we're doing, and not just us, from everybody out there.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that all the anglers involved do a little more engaging with the camera and engaging to this platform, because it's not just about going out there and competing. In my mind, it's about being engaged in the audience to some extent.
Right. Trying to create a fan base and make followers.
Find ways on the boat. Don't just stand up and I get guys are going to use. I'm not a huge live scope guy. I'm not.
Okay.
Huge, I mean, I have active target on my boat from Lowrance and I do use it, but. Being a guide, I don't spend a lot of time with it in the boat. I'm engaged in customers. So trying to bring that, to the camera and hopefully engage people and not just be staring at a screen and casting.
Right.
So, I mean, there's going to be some of that, but try to make sure everybody's following along.
You're definitely aware when it comes to having clients on a boat what it's like to just keep them entertained, because fish aren't always biting. And, I do plenty of trips out on Lake Michigan for salmon, and it's not always fast and furious.
Right.
You got to create an experience for people. So I hope we create an experience when we're on the boat. That's kind of, what we like about it.
I think one of the coolest things here with these two is going to be, Nick's favorite technique is trolling.
Yep.
And Robert likes to be in the front of the boat casting. So when are they going to make that call? Okay.
Yeah.
Is Nick going to be like, come on, man. Come on, let's try it. Let's
throw
go.
some boards out.
So who's going to win that battle?
Right.
Mentally,
That'll be an interesting dynamic, but at the same time, that's sometimes the ability to make that adjustment and having two people confident in two different things can make the difference.
That's what's going to be fun to watch.
I've got a few little things that I do when I'm guiding with customers that are highly effective out there for, especially this format that people might be surprised to see when we start playing around, especially on a couple of those Green Bay events, and maybe the Winnebago one too. We'll see, but. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, thank you for joining us, gentlemen. We are pumped to have you, and we're not far away from kicking this deal off, so we can't wait to see you.
Hopefully, well, I mean, I'm in the middle of my ice season, so I don't want the ice to go away too soon.
Right.
Because since we haven't had an ice season, but
I'm super grateful he's finally got an ice season. I told him back in December, man, I got been knocking on wood and crossing my fingers like, you need ice.
Yeah.
You got to get out there.
We got it this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Hopefully it's gone by the time we have to run this first event, so we'll see. That could be interesting.
Exactly.
Not that we haven't dodged icebergs before fishing on the bay. So.
Right. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next. I am pumped to get this season started, man. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. We got a bunch of, like you said, straight up hammers fishing with us this season.
The best thing out of those two guys is just seeing right off the bat they have the right attitude.
Yeah,
they want to teach
100%. Absolutely. Speaking of hammers, geez.
Here's one of the two guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he a head-to-head first timer? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he's fished a couple.
Okay, he's dabbled. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
just usually on a 2-minute penalty break for swearing, I think.
No way. No way.
Mr. Okada, welcome in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. First off, how pumped are you to be back in a head-to-head format?
I've never had so much fun fishing of any format other than when we did in 2021.
Yeah.
And so I've come to realize that, and I want to get back into that. I just feel like I fish better under that style.
Yeah.
And it's really enjoyable. So when Kyle said there's still an opening, I said, let's do it.
Let's do it. Good deal.
I think it's a great choice.
We are pumped to have him.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to lie. Everybody that asks me about the format since 2021, I'm like, hands down, not even close. That's the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it this year too. And I mean, we'll see what happens as things shake out. But within a year or two, I don't know. I mean, I miss it. And I feel, exactly what he just said is how almost everybody that fished it feels, is that it's just more fun fishing that format than anything else we've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like we talked about with Klaus, like this is the best learning experience for fans and anglers to be able to watch back the matches and see not only what you did, but also what everybody else did, and pick up little things along the way from all of the guys. You can't find it anywhere else in watch.
For sure. There will be some road bumps along the way here. I am not good on the Winnebago system, and since it's half our year, it's going to force me to get comfortable with it and figure some things out. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm sure as I'm fishing the Winnebago system this year, just be patient with me. I'll get my feet underneath me sooner or later. But no, we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, we had teams last year that went over on Bago and still made the playoffs.
Hey,
so it's a wild card
chance
for everybody. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You're from southern Wisconsin, Madison area. How does, but you listed Mississippi River as your favorite fishery. How does that kind of yin and yang work? Do you prefer going there because it's different, or is there stuff around the house that kind of relates?
Well, the Mississippi River is cool because every time you go there, it feels different.
Right.
Like you could have visited that pool a dozen times, but that time the water level's different, the flow is different. So many things are different, and it exposes new potentially good areas.
Yeah.
There's always, rocks don't move, so there's always good areas, but things set up differently, and it's fun to kind of pick that thing apart as you go. When the lakes around home, I have a milk run of things. The fluctuations are very minimal.
Yep.
It's just a seasonal progression that you tap into, and with the Mississippi River, it just always feels new, and so the potential for something to happen is always there. It's really neat. But the experience I've gained from the inland lakes around Madison are probably going to benefit me more throughout this season.
Right, absolutely. You're not just a Mississippi River guy, obviously. You spent your fair bit of time on the bay, too. Listed pitching plastics as your favorite technique. Has the forward-facing sonar live technology played into that? How much does that play into your game plan? Would you consider yourself a scoper?
I've forced myself to become one, and most of my success on Green Bay has come from, but prior to that, coming onto the scene. And so it's completely changed the way I look at the bay, and completely changed the way I approach different things now. And so there's actually been a dip in productivity, the way I've been fishing, but during that dip, there's a steep climb as you start to learn things.
Yeah.
And that steep climb has been really enjoyable. It's I haven't experienced a learning curve that steep since I pretty much started to start fishing.
Yeah.
And so you get to all that joy of learning so many things so rapidly comes back, and it's really cool.
100%.
It's crazy because Joe, his career has been a lot of this on the same timeline as mine. Mm-hmm. And I can feel everything he's saying, like, firsthand. Like, we made our careers on all these techniques that are almost obsolete. And it's kind of somber. It's almost a little bittersweet that a lot of the stuff we got so good at, and we learned how to find these fish, and a lot of these guys coming in now, they don't even really need to learn those skills.
Right.
And there's kind of a little bit of a somberness to that. But on the other hand, we're like, if we're going to keep doing this, I did the same thing. I didn't even bring my stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get sucked into trolling if I put this stuff in the boat at some of these events. So I forced myself, exactly like Joe said, same thing, to just keep making my learning curve get better. And, same thing. I had a little bit of dip in productivity, so just like Joe. So a lot of it's going to be fun to watch Joe, because I know Joe and I know how good of a fisherman he is. And I know he's going to excel at it.
Right.
And he'll get to the top of the pack, and it'll be fun to watch that.
It'll be a fun year to grow. So
you were also one of the best during the PWS at explaining exactly what was going on and kind of dissecting things. So I can't wait to see how that plays in too, now that you can literally see the fish behavior firsthand under the water with the forward face.
Absolutely, it's a whole new world, man.
Right.
And just when you think you're comfortable with the body of water, and then you get to have eyes underwater, your whole perspective changes instantly. It's just amazing.
Yeah. You listed that you were looking forward to most the playoff bracket in Badenoch. We have no doubt that you will be one of them that is there. Do you have experience on that fishery? If so, what is that experience? Why'd you list it as your favorite?
Well, I used to dedicate six weeks, at least 6 weeks of my year to fishing up there.
Really?
But it was fall, you know,
Right.
and this is on the front end of that before that big fall migration happens to push fresh fish into the bay. But I just really enjoyed up there. There's a lot of nooks and crannies to explore, and there's a pile of fish. So there's again, I get to look at it with some fresh eyes.
Right.
And probably end up not even doing anything that I'm comfortable with up there, but it's still pretty cool.
I think that championship's going to be a really fun event for a lot of guys.
Hope we can get there.
Yeah, we have no doubt that you will be in the conversation. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it,
guys.
Absolutely, we are pumped to kick this season off, and glad that you're going to be a part of it.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Joe.
Who's next? Rifle them through. Like I told Andy, this is basically head-to-head speed dating.
Yeah.
We're going to get them on for 10 minutes. We're going to swipe left. We're going to swipe right, and we're going to keep rolling. All right.
Good on cameras, you know.
All right.
Grams and Grams.
There it is.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Good.
Welcome in to the Real Shot. I'm sure this is totally new territory for you. Never been in here before, have you?
No, this is quite the place.
Yeah.
If you haven't been in here, come in here. It's interesting. Anything you want here. So
Floor to ceiling, man. Floor to ceiling.
It's a great store for a tournament fisherman.
Absolutely.
Or not.
Yeah.
Depends how you look at that.
Right.
Maybe leave your wallet in the truck. but-
Exactly. Right. And chances are, if it's the hot color, it may not be on the peg, because the hardcore guys get here, and let me tell you what they do.
Quite a bit of customers.
Into the basket. Well, Riley couldn't join you today, but we are pumped to have a father-daughter duo. We got a lot of father-son duos on here this year. We're pumped to see what that looks like. Are you excited for that?
Oh yeah. She was in a tournament with me last year. I've only won one tournament in my life, actually. And she was with me and got to experience it. And from there out, I'm like, right, let's do this. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Heck
So,
yeah. Good deal. From Fall River, Wisconsin,
Yep.
so down south.
Yep.
Fox Lake is your home lake.
Yep.
I don't know how much that relates to the bay, but
A little different.
I got a feeling that you've had a little bit of time and experience on the places we're going. Would you list Bago or the Bay as your favorite of the two?
The Bay. Yeah.
Definitely the Bay. I think that's a pretty common consensus across the board.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody picks Winnebago over the Bay.
Yeah.
Body of water.
100%.
I got a few things on Bago, though, just from experience out there with some guys. It's a hit or miss. Hit or
Yeah,
miss.
Sean's,
Absolutely.
Sean's he's done fished some stints on the tour and has fished with some guys that are pretty decent at live scoping.
Yeah.
Just pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Well, like you said, listed favorite technique is getting up front on the troller and scoping.
Yep.
We saw that play a lot last year. Are you excited to kind of expose some of that stuff maybe? I'm sure you'll keep a little bit under your belt, but
Most definitely. No, camera's welcome to come up and see everything I'm doing.
good deal.
I'm not going to hide nothing, and plain and simple. So, yeah.
What do you think what are you eyeballing when you look at that schedule? What's your favorite one you think looking at that?
The later events.
The later events, okay.
You guys probably know why.
Yeah.
Those fish are down early, and they're harder to find on live scope.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Speaking of earlier bite, how do you feel about all events transitioning to AM? We no longer have that PM session. It's going to be a lot of fish catches. There's going to be 10 boats on the water. Obviously, Green Bay can swallow up thousands of boats, but
Yeah.
are you afraid that guys are going to maybe find the same fish with 10 groups of guys out there?
yeah. I'd rather fish in the afternoon during the early springtime like this. Water's warming up, but
Right.
it's what we got, so we'll deal with it. So,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see that, though. We thought this last season going in that in those first events, we saw some days where, the afternoon's going to really be hot.
Right.
Right.
It didn't really transpire. I feel like the afternoons were still finished before that evening, the more of the evening bite kicked in.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see. I think guys are going to have to really adapt, and I mean, obviously when the Fox is full of boats, there's people everywhere.
Right.
But in some of those events where there's just a couple places that are popping off, it'll be interesting to see if guys find the same stuff.
Right, exactly. And early in the spring, too, I won't be up on the front of the boat like I usually am. We'll be casting those fish tight to the bottom in the river and do what we can. So
Yeah. You listed Event 5 as the one that you were maybe the most hesitant about. That was that media, middle of the year Green Bay. That's an interesting time to be on Green Bay. What do you think? Is that one going to be that really tough?
I think so.
Has the potential to?
Yeah. What was that date on that one?
June 4th.
June 4th.
Yeah, and he's right. You never know. There's so many things. There's so many variables. The transition time. And, alewives and which way the wind's blowing. There's everything matters at that time of the year, and we've seen that be okay, and we've seen it be terrible. So
we kind of picked that one because it's not a super popular time to be on the bay. It's either really early or the later you get, the better it gets. So we just kind of wanted to see what guys we're going to expose, and maybe one it's going to be a feast or famine type deal, and maybe it's a one fish tournament for everybody. But
that whole alewife thing, man, that can sure change a lot of things. But I got experience out there when it is bad.
Yeah.
On places to make them runs and look. But so see what happens.
Yeah, good deal. Well, it said you got pretty modest goals this season. Just kind of have fun with your daughter. I know that your goal is obviously to win as much as you can to make that playoff bracket, but that is going to be a super cool dynamic to see. And I guess, does she have any expectations going into the season? Have you talked to her at all, or is she just looking to have fun?
Honestly, she's pretty new. So she's going out there to have fun and learn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That'll be an interesting dynamic. Teaching the viewers while you're teaching the other person in your boat all these new things. I think it'll be super cool to watch.
It'll be really fun.
And honestly, as you'll see, she's pretty fresh.
Right.
So this will
go to
show anybody can do it.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can keep it simple, man. In all aspects of fishing, there's a simple way to get a bite. So
our main goal this year was I'm not going to spend all week pre-fishing. I'm going to go out that weekend before, and what happens on a Wednesday happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is the other thing that's interesting about our format is fishing middle of the week like that. Some guys get pre-fished the weekend before. Some guys can pre-fish up to the event, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what that middle of the week bite looks like with not nearly as many people on the water. Hopefully,
there was times last year where we, on the bay especially, the wind change is what can mess it up. Where we saw guys run to the east shore, and then I'm sitting there in the studio and I can see the water, and I'm like,
time to go, get gone,
time to go now before you even cast, and then they'd cast and this ain't working.
Right.
Yeah, those are the things that Sean knows that.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. He'll be able to be a teacher, and all he's got to do is tell daughter to bring a good attitude.
Right.
And I'm sure they'll have a great time.
Right.
Just hope the weather's good.
Knock on wood, right? Well, good deal. We are super pumped to have you here.
8 times. Just 8 times the good weather.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Do you know anything about Beta Knock, the playoff bracket? I'm sure you've spent some time up there. Is that something that you're chomping at the bit? You can't wait to get up there?
Yes, I'm just hoping to get up there.
Right.
I feel like I could be a threat up there. So
good deal.
Yep.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate you jumping in head-to-head this year. We're not far away from kicking this season off, and we're pumped to have you.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys.
Absolutely.
Was it all right?
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. It looks like we have our next group of anglers stepping in. We got Joel and Nathan Moots jumping in. Talking about young bucks.
Yeah.
I heard we got someone with a little bit of track record on the youth trail here. Someone who's been tearing them up for the last couple years. Welcome in, gentlemen.
How you guys doing?
Good. Yourselves?
Good. Glad to have you guys here.
Yeah.
Ready for this springtime warm-up? Is there any better place to have this than the Real Shot? I don't think so.
No, it's a good atmosphere to come up and visit with everybody and kind of go through what we all need to do this season. And excited to get going here.
Good deal. Well, talk about the decision to jump into head-to-head. Kind of what was the closing factor for you guys and what made you say, heck, we'll give it a shot?
So I marshaled for the PWS for the only event I didn't do was Detroit.
Okay.
And that was because I didn't know you could do marshals.
Yep.
And then after watching everybody do it, and that, I was like, man, that kind of sounds like a fun little tournament to get involved in.
Yeah.
And then the following year, my dad and I jumped into one of the Winnebago head-to-head events. And we ended up missing the cut by, I think it was 8 ounces.
Dang.
And that was because day one, we decided not to go in the river where everybody else was, and we went out to the main lake and just got our butts handed to us.
Yeah, it was blowing that day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was extremely rough out there, and we just could not get a legal fish that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are one of we got 6 father-son duos fishing head-to-head this year. You guys are one of them. I think that's going to be a super fun dynamic. We saw it a little bit last year, but I think it's going to be fun to have you guys in the boat. Talk a little bit about your tournament experience together and some of the youth fishing stuff.
So him and I fished the National Bass Fishing Trail, Southern District. There's like 7 other districts in that series. Most of them are down south, Alabama, Georgia area. And they got a youth division and an adult division.
Okay.
So as long as the youth signs up before he turns 18 for his membership that year, they can fish in the youth division against all other juniors.
Cool.
So he decided he wanted to do that 2 years ago. And then I'm like, well, if I'm going to be in the boat with him, I might as well jump in on the adult side of it and, we'll have fun for the day.
Yeah.
Learn some new stuff every tournament.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so 2 years ago he got in it with, and after the third tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the points lead, and then
Heck yeah.
and then that was it, right?
Yeah.
You kept the points lead, won the regular season, and then you also won the district championship.
Very nice.
Good deal.
And then,
You guys would consider yourself more Bago than Bay, correct? Or good mix?
I would say probably a good mix.
Good deal.
We do a lot of stuff on Winnebago, and we do a lot up on Green Bay. We spend pretty much the month of August up on Green Bay.
Heck yeah.
So we do quite a bit up there.
It's a good time of year to be there.
Yeah, I'm reading about Nate. Will Jig has to figure it out a little bit yet. I'm thinking, well, if he's cracking bass, the kid can jig.
Yeah, 100%.
He'll be fine. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, he's the jigging aspect of it is he's starting to figure out the live scope a little better.
Good deal.
He's got to figure out what to look for on it to get his jigging techniques down, but he actually enjoys the trolling part more than anything. He's been doing that with me for as long as, I don't know, since he's been about 5 years old.
Good deal.
I mean, I can tell him, here's the rod, here's the bait, how far out you want it, Dad, and I tell him, and he sets it all up on his own, and so he's pretty good at getting his own side set up.
Awesome.
So we're pretty efficient.
Good deal.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch last year. Captain Keller kind of stuck to his guns and said, I'm trolling no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest obstacle is it's harder for these guys that usually when they bounce back and forth, it doesn't ever work out that great. But Jim and Larry, when they're like, this is what we do. This is what we do.
Yep.
And they're usually found a way, a lot of times found a way to win.
Yeah. Well, good deal.
To be consistent. Yeah.
You guys got any one event circled on the schedule that you're most looking forward to, or is it kind of take them as they come?
I guess our biggest event that we're looking forward to is hopefully just to make it into the playoff bracket so that we can get up to Beta Knock. The last time I was up there was ice fishing, and that area kind of kicked our butt pretty good, but looking forward to the open water side of it. And
yeah.
I think that June 18th, Winnebago, that'll be a good That'll be a good bite. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yep.
we had a couple dates that were maybe a little off, and obviously the May ones, it's kind of still early to say. That all depends on how the spring's going.
Spring
and what
run,
weather
yeah.
is, but
Yeah, it could be
June
a river.
18th, something's going to be cracking.
Yeah,
at that time.
I would think
That'll be
June.
a
June
good
should
bite.
be a pretty good trolling bite out there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could even get them off some of the reefs jigging too as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
100%. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We are pumped to see what you guys can do this season. We got a stacked field of hammers, and we think you guys will fit in pretty well. So,
I mean, we gotta not think of Okada as being a super stick or McQuaid. We gotta kind of just take it as it's
Just
a regular
go out there
person,
and run your program.
just fish, and if it happens, it happens, right?
you against the fish.
Yeah.
Go make it happen.
But what do we always say in the boat?
Never be afraid to fail,
You got it.
And what else?
or you'll never know the true feeling of winning.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a good mentality to have.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Positive mental attitude, right?
That's right.
If you're not winning, you're learning.
Fact.
Yep.
So
For sure.
All right.
Glad to be here.
Good
excited
deal.
to watch you guys.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
100%.
fun.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for coming in today.
Yep.
Well, we do not, unfortunately, have Justin here for a TRS Live. He said that the microwave was out of commission for this event. But we do have some awesome in-store sales going on. We have 25% off all bass and walleye hard baits and plastics going on right now through next Saturday, the Media Day sale, kind of the season kickoff. And then we still got some awesome ice sales going on. We have 2 iFish Pros with any electric auger. We got 1 iFish Pro with any pistol bit. And any shack that we have here in store right now, get a $100 TRS gift card if you take it out that door today. Already got some awesome sale pricing going on. Ready to get this ice fishing stuff out the door and trade it out with some more bass fishing gear.
There's some nice stuff sitting right there.
Yeah, there is. A lot to look at in here. A lot to look at.
Especially these two right here.
Especially these two. They've been shopping since they got here.
Yes.
I don't even know what their total's up to, but
Mine
they bought
was
some new swag.
$256, I think it was.
Attaboy.
All
right.
He beat me by a little.
I have got the number one burning question that everyone has been asking me to ask these two. Okay?
Hit me with it.
So, Chris, Ron, you guys had an awesome last year. You were runners-up. When we go back to Winnebago, May 7th, what are you going to do to protect Chris Ron Point? Because with the weight limit being a pound, last year you guys would have had like 300 pounds off of that point.
There was a lot of fish there.
It was ridiculous. You guys caught like 70 fish off of that point. So,
exactly.
What are you going to do to protect Chris Ron Point May 7th when you go back to Bago?
We did think about that. Did we give him an answer? Did we come up with one?
I didn't think we were going to go back there, but
we're back there.
We're going? No.
Oh yeah.
No, I know.
If it ain't you, someone's going to be there.
Someone will be there.
Well, you could park a few boats.
I think you could probably park 2 boats there. You'll probably be just fine.
Do you think that we could commentate from the water that event?
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Just walk out on that point and just sit there and talk to us.
And sit in that chair. There's that haunting chair.
There's a chair there.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe someday I'll go in the water and then I'll catch a fish off it.
Yeah. Well, we are
probably likely. We'll probably at least visit it.
Yeah.
Joined by Chris Frederick, Ron Trudowski. You guys last season were so dang close. One
close.
match.
Very
Man,
close.
that was a fun championship run to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make the fire burn hotter to be that close and come just a little bit short and some unfortunate things happening?
You can go first.
we've been there before. We've come close before and got, one thing goes wrong and then you lose it. It's such a game of inches, so to speak. So, yeah, it kind of burns you a little bit, but some things are out of your control, and you just got to do what you do best, and hopefully next time it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You don't say it bothered. Yeah, might as well say it bothered me. Because like we fished that championship round in the morning to save stuff, and then another organization kind of comes in and takes it away from us.
Right.
But that was a little irritating. That's the kind of part that is out of our control. So like we're always trying to control like what we can control. And,
right.
And so you don't go insane about the uncontrollables. But that one was a unforeseen, uncontrollable.
100%.
And then we actually expanded. Like I think maybe the week before. Maybe 2 weeks before.
Yeah, the week before I went out there for a day.
I gave Ron a mission. And I'm like, find some more spots like this.
Yeah.
So we
and he
found
did,
a couple
and we
more.
used them.
And they were actually better than I expected because I had fished some of that before. Found some schooling fish and said, okay, I'm going to, instead of seeing the schooling fish out there, I'm going to fish it like we fish in the other stuff.
Yep.
And sure enough, it kind of worked, and we kind of duplicated it. And so we used some of that for, semifinal and then saved some for the afternoon.
Yeah.
So making that decision in the afternoon, knowing that our stuff got beat up, that was kind of one of the harder decisions. 'Cause it's something you didn't expect.
Right.
And you're like, okay, do we stick around and just hope? Because we figured 4 or 5 fish would do it. Like, is there 4 or 5 fish left over? I
Right.
said, well, we got one area, another side area, and then we got. So we thought we had enough to pick away at 4 or 5, but the other guys were pretty good at what they do.
Yeah.
On that championship round, we started on a spot we never even fished the whole year.
Right.
We caught one like immediately, and then, but yeah, I think we only caught 3. And I think the fish we caught were not from the areas we were fishing.
Right.
In past rounds. So, yeah, it's definitely kind of, want to do better than that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely there's a fire in there for sure. So.
Was there any question about coming back this season, or was it no doubt about it?
Not really.
No.
We're coming back.
Especially when if you're switching up the lakes, which I expected they were going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like we fish all over.
Right.
Mississippi to Sturgeon Bay to up in the UP, all over the place.
I was going to say, you guys travel all
We
over
go a
the
lot.
place.
I mean, Marshfield, it's in the middle of the state, so that's the pro.
Well, you have
the
to
con
travel.
is that
Right.
there's no
Nothing.
water.
Right.
So, but everything's 2 hours away, right?
Right.
For the most part, and that's kind of made us pretty good anglers around.
Yeah,
the
super
state,
versatile.
right? So like we can pretty much do whatever we want and feel comfortable doing it. So,
Yeah.
On all the lakes we went or going to this year, I have at least been there at least once, maybe twice. I think Ron's been to everyone except maybe High Falls. I think.
Falls I haven't been to. I know he's been there and done well.
Yeah.
I've kind of wanted to go there, so I'm kind of excited about that one.
Definitely suits y'all's style. I mean,
Yeah,
if there
I
was
think
one
so.
that's
Yeah.
kind of a grinder, shallow water type
Yeah.
place, it's
I fished some
right up your alley.
previous clubbers there, and I think I've been there twice, and I'm pretty sure I won. I know I won twice there, so I just don't know if I was there 3 times, but yeah, it's a grinder type of lake where
I like those tournaments.
I like
Yeah,
those tournaments.
100%.
Like the championship where we're looking for one more bite. I can do that for hours and just stick to it and not like get flustered. And,
Right.
Right down to the last 5 minutes, just try to get that one more bite. But,
Yeah.
fortunately, we needed 2 more, I think.
Yeah.
Well, one
towards
giant
the end.
one, but
One
big
giant
one.
or yeah.
we were catching like 4.5 pounders.
I was going to say, you guys did not. They did not set the hook on many that were small.
No,
in
that
spot.
morning was
That morning-
unreal.
morning
Yeah.
was unreal. Everything was
coulda
like 3.5
doubled that.
pounds or more.
Yeah.
And then they all had like those black spots on them for
Yeah.
Right,
That was
right,
super
right.
cool.
Yeah, we shook off or had bites and just let it drop.
Yeah,
it
there was
quite a bit. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
like, when we had our limit, we thought was going to be enough, and I'm like, don't set the hook. It's just going like this,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Don't.
and then I was like, just watch the weight. If they get within 10 pounds, let me know. And he's
Yeah,
like,
we're-
well, they're in 10 pounds. I'm like, okay.
I'll take that one.
So how do you guys feel about the biggest change, which is the weight limit right now, as far as the scoreable fish coming from 2 pounds down to 1 pound?
Well, I think on a Winnebago it would have been a huge advantage. But I think maybe the tougher lakes where you might just need a couple bites, like especially like maybe the midsummer stuff, that where a bite can go a long ways, will definitely be good. Definitely for TV and streaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're still going to try to catch bigger fish, and you usually catch other fish along the way. So
Right.
That's kind of, I'm not going to really think we need to change our strategy to aim for smaller fish, but say you're halfway through the round and you got nothing or very little, and you're down 10 pounds, might be time to go shake a net somewhere and
Right.
catch some 2 pounders
Yeah.
or 1.5 pounders. Or
Put some
1
pound and a
pounder,
halfers on the board.
Yeah. So
Well, on the walleye side last year, them dropping it to 1 pound made for some really exciting
Yeah,
tournaments.
absolutely.
And that's what I expect. It's like it's to me a lot more fun when you get to watch the scoreboard move.
Yeah.
Right. And when you see that, because we were catching a lot of fish last year.
Right.
There just wasn't a lot of scoreable fish.
It'd be frustrating. You're like, oh, 114. Oh, a 150, which is a legal fish.
Right.
It's like
14-incher all day.
14 and a half-ish,
Yep.
And you're like, man, 114, 112, 113, 114.
Yeah.
And you just like, what else do I got to do to catch a 2-pounder?
Exactly right.
And which sometimes is really hard to do.
I just expect like the point we start at, I may just be weighing fish all day.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, just down to the bottom of the boat.
When you need 2 pounders, and you see a pounder and a half, you can start throwing them away, and I can actually fish.
Right.
How many rods can we have out? Just have like a bunch of lines up. This one's going. This one's going.
Put a wacky worm under a cork and just wait for that sucker to go down.
It's a good strategy.
You guys got one circled on the schedule that you're most looking forward to get to, or just take them as they come?
I was probably looking forward to like Fox Lake. I like how that lake, I fished that lake in the past, and not a lot, but enough to know that there's some giant fish in there.
Yeah, well, that's a trophy lake, right?
Yep.
And there's good numbers of fish too. And I think we're there later summer.
Yep.
Which fishes to like how I like to fish.
Early August.
A lot of weed clumps, some rock piles, dots of docks, and the water's a good dingy color.
Yeah.
And you can do anything you want. So
heck yeah.
I think that's going to be a really good setup for how we fish. But overall, I think we just kind of come and take it as they come.
Yeah, I've only been to Fox Lake a couple times.
Yep.
Done okay. I think Big Green, I really don't like Big Green overall. I've caught some nice fish there, but I tend to like catch numbers there, but I can't find the big ones to compete.
Right.
And those guys always come in with giant bags and this and that. But I got a lot of spots that are, average fish, 2 or 3 pounders.
Yeah, I've caught a lot of fish in Big Green as well. Not giant. I've seen giants, but for some reason they don't bite a lot.
Yeah, so I think I might be one that actually do better in this format than, typical 5-fish tournament.
Right. And that time of year, I mean, that there very well could be the spawning bite going on.
Yeah.
We're there in I think, second weekend in June.
Yeah, and some of those little marinas can warm up pretty quick too, and some of those little backwaters.
He'll have a teammate now, so he's not going to sit on a fish for 4 hours.
Right.
It was like a 4-pounder.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
But the one
won't be able to do that.
The one that's probably, I'm not going to say scares me, but let's just say scares, is like little sturgeon, right? I'm not sure if we'll get restricted, if it's wind, or if it's probably a spawning tournament.
Yeah.
And I fished there enough to know things, but I don't know like all the areas that they don't bite here. Where do we go else?
Right.
And moves out there where Winnebago's like 10 to 15 minute runs.
You can get out there and run for an hour.
Run for hours and never catch a fish. That one is probably going to cause us the most anxiety, right?
That one will be one we probably need to go a few days before and poke around a little bit.
Yeah.
But out there you can do that, and then 2 hours later, it's
all
totally
changed.
flip-flop.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
it's tough.
There's a lot of wild cards with that.
There's a lot of that's the one that's going to be hard if you're not on them immediately.
Yeah.
It's going to be
You're going to get
what
smoked.
I got to do now.
Absolutely.
I think people are going to be, there will be wide ranges of weights there.
Yeah.
Like 80 pounds and 6.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the other thing too is the weather. Like you talk about it, you have wind, push warm water in, cold water in. I mean, it can change from what you had just the hour before, and everything just changes.
Yeah, like you could be there and it's a nice east wind or something that keeps your water temperature in there, and you get a north wind like that morning, and
you're done.
58 degrees is now 48 degrees.
Right.
Yeah, just drive around out there. Go around a corner one time. It's nice and warm. You go around the corner, and it's like 10-degree change.
Right.
Well, that's the one that's going to probably cause us the most anxiety. And what do we do before we get there, type of thing, and what do we do when we're probably there?
Mm-hmm.
So,
good deal, gentlemen.
Unless they hit it on the head. So,
yeah. We are pumped to have you guys back this year. We loved the antics in the boat last year, the old married couple dynamic.
I usually just call Uncle Ron.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that didn't stick last year, but that's fine.
I like that, yeah.
Uncle's way better than Grandpa.
Yeah. I'm
not a Grandpa yet.
A lot. So.
Good deal, guys. We are pumped to get this season started, and we can't wait to watch what you guys can do.
We're glad to be back. So,
Good deal.
Thank you.
Glad to be back. Thank you,
We'll
gentlemen.
see you guys. All right. Yeah, they're great
Oh,
great
geez.
duo to have back.
Not these two.
Oh, boy.
No.
Oh.
A little lighter.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Start the timer. We got 5 minutes to talk. We got 5 minutes to talk.
They're already after us. You see that?
It's
With this giant head that I was just.
wow.
That's Chris.
Yep. Yeah.
Dang.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
My pit's fine.
Oh man, we are.
Knock it off.
Starting it off.
Okay, fine.
Starting it off
fine.
right.
We are joined by Tyson Hansen and Kyle Poila.
Hey, congrats on the last name.
Pronunciation. I got it.
I stayed away from it purposely just to let you. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. He's
Tread lightly.
in here. And, yeah, bothers me enough. Gentlemen, we got one half of the number 1 seed from last season, and someone who's been around head-to-head pretty much since it started, since he was chasing Tinas and stuff back in the day.
Tinas.
And I am really excited to have these two together next year. This is going to be one that, if we have the multi-views, you're going to want to stay on this camera and bounce back and forth between us two, because the antics in the boat are going to be through the roof.
It's going to be hilarious regardless.
So, have you guys fished together before, or just been around each other so much, comfortable with each other?
How do we want to put that?
I think we fished together a couple times, and technically now I'm your boss and sort of see each other every day. So it's
our desks are 10 feet apart.
The dynamic is good.
I shoot him with the Orbeez gun every now and again.
All right.
So we really got a dynamic going on.
Yeah, we're good.
So in the boat, you're going to pull the boss card?
No.
No.
I'm that man.
Well, that puts a lot of pressure on you.
That's what we want.
We've
All
had
the
this
pressure on
discussion.
Ty.
Good deal.
We've had this discussion.
Good deal.
That's awesome. Well, Ty, last year, you probably had one of the most, in general, crazy, stressful, up and down years, going through a couple of boats, some motors. I mean, are you going to try and be a little more even keel this year?
You know, last year I started out with 1. This year we're starting out with 2. So we've got some flexibility.
Yeah.
And my partner last year didn't. We'll put it this way: his boat ended up blowing up as well. So technically, there were 3 boats between one team that went down for the season. Kyle's going to have a brand new Vexus. I've got 2 boats, so between the 3 of them, we should be able to make every event.
If we have to, we can dig down deep and borrow Nick's green rocket.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've got other boats available as well.
Good deal.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I mean,
should be fine there.
You had talk about your year. I mean, because you started off, the first boat, cracked hull.
Yep. So running the Wisco, really rough on the way back into weigh-in. Had a good bag, did well. Ended up splitting the keel right down the center of the boat, about 3 foot.
Center a little too hard.
It was rough. I ended up fishing another tournament out of that same boat the weekend after, not realizing that was an issue. Good thing I had some good bilge pumps.
We're sinking.
But that was rough all day. It was filling the floor with water every time I stopped, and I was like, I don't know where it's coming from.
Oh, no.
But yeah. When you put the garden hose in it after the day and you find a sprinkler of water coming out from the hull.
Snapchat's hilarious.
It was bad. It was bad. So, yes, went through one boat in the beginning of the season. Luckily,
And then you bought a Ranger.
I bought a used Ranger, yep.
And then within a week,
No. So I ran that boat for 2.5 months. There was an Evinrude on it.
Okay.
And I had some running issues with that. It's an Evinrude. Knew that motor was probably going to have to go. I ended up repowering the boat with a 2025 Mercury 200 Pro XS 4-stroke.
Yep.
That was on there for about 6 weeks before it ended up twisting the entire transom off the back of the Ranger in 30 feet of water on Sturgeon Bay. And everybody's asked me, I didn't hit anything. The power was too much for that boat hull, and it separated the transom from the hull. Nothing I did, nothing I hit, nothing.
Wow.
Weird circumstance, to say the least. Very unexpected. But yes, that was a problem.
Well, what should we look forward to this season? Obviously, someone has had a swim bait addiction, and it's just growing. And then
I want to clarify that. I'm pretty sure I started this, and he just has gotten to a level where I am not competing anymore. Wife and kids take precedent over
Right.
a smorgasbord.
Stuff that looks like fish and does this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll just borrow his. I told him the 5-inch mag drafts that he just spent $17,000 on. $3 a pop. If I break it off, I'll pay full price.
Right.
It's a great deal for him. He's making
$3 a pop, he says.
Yep.
For rent, $3 a pop.
Yeah.
Great deal.
Great deal.
Not a good deal.
And he has a lot. I mean, he could rent to the entire greater Portage County area, and he could still have more
There's
left
only like
over
six
for himself.
of the 6 fishermen in Portage County, but
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
We could rent them out.
100%.
Right. I'm able to rent these out for you, right? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's a shallow bite going on, these two right here will figure it out, and they will exploit it to the full extent. So stuff like the first Bago event, Little Lake, High Falls, all going to be in the mix. And then when you get to the deeper clear bodies of water is when you might see the shoe-sized swim baits come out.
Should we just tell them that we're going to throw minnows the whole time?
Oof. Yeah, there we go. We got a winner shaking team.
And really throw them off.
Yes.
Talking about big swim baits, and both of us are going to have live scope going forward for this entire season. So I did dial that in on Sturgeon Bay when that motor did come off the boat last year. And I was really excited to utilize that. So there might be some of that coming into play.
All right.
We're obviously going to be looking for that shallow water aggressive bite. It comes down to it. We can see them just like everybody else can.
Right.
So, we're not afraid to go out deep and throw them. It's funny you bring up High Falls. High Falls is a lot of deep water. There's a lot of smallmouth that go deep.
It's true.
A lot of rock piles out there, and I've got an extensive history out on High Falls.
I was going to say, you got some track record up
there. I'm a big fan of High Falls now. It took me several years to learn it, but it's a good time. You're going to see some shallow stuff. You're going to see some deep stuff. You're going to see some shallow stuff thrown deep.
Right.
So there's some schooling fish out there, and it's going to be fun.
Now you guys know why he's the leader and I'm that man. I'll just be in the back.
Good deal.
And the one that really, I will point out, the Bay is the one that made me nervous, right? You see that on the schedule, and it's like, all right, what, we going to go there in September or July? I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of drop shotting in 35 to 60 feet of water.
Right.
Y'all can have that. I don't want any part of that. However, we're going to be dead in the center of the spawn, more than likely.
Yeah.
So we're going to be in 3 feet of water. We're going to be really comfortable. So I know that it's kind of been a little thing about Tyson can't catch them out deep.
Right.
Sturgeon Bay is going to be, that's an easy one. Not necessarily.
Right.
We're going to have fun with that one.
Yeah. Dude, if there's one event on the schedule that has potential to break records, that's
it will happen.
100% the one.
If you don't, I will throw a bold prediction out there. If you don't have at least,
oh boy, here we go with the bold predictions.
If you don't have at least 60 pounds for that tournament, you're not winning.
Are you willing to say that you will catch 30 pounds per match again this season? Are you willing to put that on record right now?
I haven't looked that closely at the schedule.
Yes, you have. Oh, my God. That is a lie.
He's got the schedule highlighted in his desk.
Yeah.
He looks at it every day. Praise to the fish god.
Yes.
Time to go to work.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Well, 30 pounds a day is interesting. It is a goal. We'll put it there.
Okay.
It should happen.
It seems like a light goal to me.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm the back guy. I'm just not the fish.
Kyle, talk about your background fishing and what you've done around head to head.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably like everybody in Wisconsin. I grew up fishing with my dad and my uncles and grandpa and everybody else.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I did most of my love for fishing came with my uncle trout fishing out towards Madison area. And then kind of moved on from that life and got into college playing football. And then when I got hurt, my competitive edge, I can't control that. Needed something and really enjoy fishing. So I got on the UWO team and fished some college events.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, the addiction's really, really bad.
Yeah.
So I've been around locally here since I moved up here in 2017 with either college or like Wisco's and all the other local events.
Yeah.
I did get into the first head-to-head and fell in love with that addicting format, and ended up winning the first match I was in. And every other head-to-head event after that just hasn't worked out with work schedule. But I'm very excited to be back with the high adrenaline, high stakes fishing. It is something I really look forward to. I think it fits how I like to fish. I like to fish with a little bit of a higher gear than most. So running and gunning is not something I'm afraid of. And I really look forward to it. And I think, as an outsider or as a backup last year, watching on, split screen at work, watching them soak baits for all kinds of time, I'm like, please move. So
try something different.
Yeah, I'm excited to. I think him and I have a good enough relationship to say, like, this not going, dude.
This
we
is
need
not
to get
working.
moving.
Yeah.
Well, just right now with you two, there's a lot more chemistry here. Last year, it didn't seem like you had a good chemistry, you and Mitch, like when you were fishing.
So I'll say this. So to address that, Mitch and I are both very solid anglers. Mitch probably is one of the best anglers in the state. I don't think anybody's going to doubt that. That being said, Mitch has his own pace that will outperform 99% of people on a specific body of water over the course of an 8-hour event. Now, I highlight the 8 hours just because it's a very slower, methodical. I'm going to catch every single fish that's in this grass pile, and there's nothing the fish or you can do about it.
Right.
And that's the mentality that Mitch has, and it's done extremely well for him. This format, I think, being half of that, you don't have that flexibility to, hey, I can do this for 2 hours and try it. That's my game plan, and then I can expand off of it throughout the day and put together a solid limit, right? This format, you have to make decisions on the fly and be able to move and rotate through a number of locations and another number of spots. And that's where last year you saw a little bit of the
butting heads.
Yes, there's a word for it. I can't.
Conflict.
The little conflict between. When I know he made a couple comments, and I watch these throughout the wintertime. It's fun to look back on them and stuff. And there was one, I think, where we were in Winneconne Channel, and we were fishing edges of trees and pitching grass and stuff like that. And I don't remember if I caught a fish out of this tree, but it was a 13-incher, a 12-incher, and he threw in there a Senko and caught like a 10-incher. And I'm already 20 yards behind, or by the time he's getting this dink off. And he turns to me and he's like, hey, you mind if I cast in there a couple more times? And I'm like, we just pulled 2 unscoreable fish out of there. Like, let's go. And he would rather catch every fish out of that tree to confirm that there isn't a 2+ pounder in that tree, right? Whereas my mentality was, if there was a 2-pounder in there, we would have caught it by now.
Yeah.
We threw in there 6 times, let's keep going, rather than hitting every individual angle and stick. But that's just his mentality, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think he's still one of the best anglers in this field. I think personally our attitudes and our pace was a little different last year. Obviously, we still took Team of the Year. We went 8-1. So it's not like we weren't fishing well together. It was just there was a little bit of, like you said, conflict about how to do it.
Right.
And I think the split there, I think we were kind of still kind of on edge about at the end of the year last year if we were going to team up again going forward for this year. I think him and his dad have a similar pace and are going to perform extremely well this year and will be a team to be reckoned with without a doubt.
Right.
However, I think personally for myself, Kyle is a better fit as a teammate as far as our pace goes and how we look at certain systems.
Breaks my heart, really. Right. Touches me deeply.
Pulls at the old heartstrings.
And we've been friends for years, you know, so it's not like we haven't had communication and the same mentality about certain events and certain bodies of water that we fished in the past. We might fish something completely different. Like we're both very well versed in the Bago system.
He might attack it a little differently.
We might launch out of Winneconne, but we're 4 hours away from each other.
Right.
So it's going to be a different mentality about how we attack certain areas at different times. but the pace is, I think, is what's going to keep us on target, and we have the same goals as far as that goes. So that's really how I can break that down.
Yeah, we're excited to watch you guys in the boat. I think it's going to be a fun dynamic to follow this season.
Wait. You are under attack from us a little bit.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have you stressing out all
immediately.
Season.
Oh, God.
Immediately.
Just so you know.
The first time you see us on camera, you're going to be freaking out, sweating, probably might walk
You're
out
already
of the sweating.
Oh, no.
If this has anything to do with a banana...
Not at all. I wouldn't figure.
I will say I don't like eating bananas. They're not my favorite flavor at all.
Okay.
I like bananas, though.
Oh, God.
Bananas gross me out. I don't like them.
Okay.
Like eating them or anything like that. I will say I won an event last year with a banana sitting in the console the whole time.
Ooh. It's false hope. That's what it will lure you in, and once it gets its talons in you, it will drag you to the depths of hell.
So are you saying like the day before an event you can't touch a banana the day before, or is it just the day of?
It's in the boat.
In the boat, okay. So
the boat.
So you're saying on the way to an event, you can crack a banana in the truck on the way to an event?
If you want to mess with forces that are beyond your control, you can do that. To me, the general rule of thumb is the day of an event. No.
Okay.
You don't.
It's fine.
You don't mess with that. Pre-fishing. You just don't tug on Superman's cape.
I think you guys will like some of our antics.
Okay.
The first one.
Okay.
You're not going to like.
Oh, boy.
The rest of them, though, I think you guys will have some fun with.
Now,
I'm looking forward to
If that is not enough of a teaser to watch the rest of the head-said season, I don't know what will be.
Here's what I will say.
You got 2 seconds.
We're going up against a professional angler for the first event.
It's true.
Now, is that by design? Because you guys hate us? Maybe.
No. This was a randomly generated thing. Is your schedule a little more difficult? Do you meet the guys on their best bodies of water? Yes. But last season,
we all agree at
you
this point.
squeaked away with a half of a fish victory so many times that this is the fish god's karma. It came up a level.
This is what happens.
I'm
a good guy. This is what happens when you mess with bananas.
Yep.
That banana in the boat that day, you thought it did you good. It got you a schedule.
Random draw, he says.
Out with you two. Out. I'm tired of talking to you. Bye. We'll see you at first event. Thanks for coming. Who's next?
I'm a little nervous, to tell you the truth here. All right, I'm getting tagged out. We got Nick Shirts coming back.
We're talking about walleyes. 2 halves of a team. Oh, and it's the troublemakers, too. Ted, I got the same rule. We got a limited amount of time. This was speed dating. They went way over their time. We're all messed up now. So we got 2 halves of a team here. We got Katowski, Katowski and Miller. Miltowski. Whichever. We got
Katowski.
We got the top seed from last season and the eventual season champion. Welcome in, gentlemen. Thank you for coming back to head-to-head. We were hoping that you guys would be back. Was there any question if there was going to be a return of these 2 teams?
No.
Zero.
Are you guys going to catch some fish this year?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
Come on.
right?
You're
going to work on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it happened. We go on a heater.
Yeah, that's right. So we start off the season in your neck of the woods, and we end the season in your neck of the woods. Talk about that dynamic.
I think this year is going to be completely different with Mother Nature, the setup. It's 7 weeks versus 9.
Yep.
I mean, there's 20 inches of ice everywhere on the day. So our first event, I don't see
it's a wild card.
I don't see us being anywhere except the river and the pier.
Really?
By that second event, I think we're still going to be in the same river.
Wow.
I don't see the bay being nice, and the water's low.
Yeah.
Which that makes it even harder. If the water's a little higher, your ice can go out faster. But being lower,
there's no flow right now.
Yeah.
And that even with this we have a warm stretch coming now, knowing that when you get that warm weather this time of year, it just doesn't really have that much of an effect because the angle of the sun isn't quite right yet. So,
whereas with the higher water, though, it does have a little more of effect, But being low, it's just there's no flow. You drive by the river in De Pere right now, and I have never seen it that low.
Really?
Like ever.
Wow.
It is crazy low, and it's everywhere. So then we have 3 events right after that. They're all on Bagel.
Yep.
And, Bagel's not easy to fish, is it?
Hey, we only got one way to go, and that's up.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, and
one at a time.
Yeah.
We all said it last year. Bagel can humble you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it does. So you're looking at, you're way over halfway on the season. That's 5 events, and you haven't even touched the bay yet.
Right.
So,
you never know. I mean,
you never know. You could, but even if you do. The first event, you're probably not getting on the bay. The second event, we might be able to get up to that O'Connell area and maybe Menominee, but that's still river springtime fishing mindset and techniques and tactics.
Yep.
And anyone that's looking forward to that, that summer casting, that live scoping, that sniping, that's tough to do on Bagel.
Absolutely.
Very few people can do it. I mean.
It was tried last year, and
there were some did it last year. Predominantly, not really the focus. But your big sniping, that's going to be on the bay.
Yeah.
And I think more so guys are looking for the championship up in Little Bay.
Right.
Now that's going to really come into play.
Absolutely.
So if you want to walk out of this winning the league, you are going to need to be
well-rounded. Absolutely.
You're going to need river stuff. You're going to need Bagel stuff. You're going to need bay stuff.
Got to be versatile.
You have
Absolutely.
to. Yep, you have to have it covered. And when you get to the championship, pretty sure everyone knows how everyone's probably going to fish in that.
Right.
I mean, and nothing against nothing. We just, we've seen the dynamics unfold last year.
Absolutely.
Rod and hand guys with live scope and the proper lure, whatever it would be.
Yeah. They set a pace that you can't compete with.
Pretty effective.
Yeah.
It's a
pretty
good,
effective.
good time of the year for that.
Yep.
It's going to be really good.
So, you guys are one of the few that is returning from last season. We got a lot of new faces in the Walleye League this year. I know Ted's been talking a little smack on social media. Doesn't feel like maybe they're as stiff a competition as some might think. Do you feel like you have an advantage over these guys because you fished a league season, or are you kind of excited to see how everybody does and where it all shakes out?
I don't think there's any advantage over one versus the other due to anybody's ability that's coming into the league as far as the new guys, because everyone that's here again also has a laundry list of accolades.
Right.
And you take notice.
Yeah.
They didn't just get that stuff given to them. They can all fish. They all know what they're doing. So as far as the competition, I think it might be some better teams this year than last year.
I agree.
I would agree with you.
With the exception of one returning easy team.
I mean, I think that you guys, it helps a lot that these guys have the format experience, but of course you have Okada coming into with some of the format experience. You have a couple other, guys with some tour experience, but having this format experience is priceless because you realize there's you got to make quick adjustments. You have
Absolutely.
no time to sit and think, oh, maybe we'll give this another 40. No, go.
It's a right.
If you're thinking go. Don't.
Yep.
It's a right now game.
Yep.
And as far as, as far as the only advantage the 3 teams going into it that I feel that they might have, everybody knows it's 4 hours. Everybody knows they have to have a game plan. Everybody knows that there's going to be a camera in the boat. Everybody knows people are going to be watching.
Yep.
We all signed up for that.
Right.
But until you do it the first time and you realize, and then by week 2, 3, 4, you realize how short 4 hours is.
Right.
Yeah.
And you watch a lot of the teams that, week 1, 2, 3, 4 last year compared to later in the year.
Yep.
It took everybody 25, 35 minutes to get the jitters out to catch fish.
Yep.
And as the year went on, the teams that did really good and got better, consistently better,
Yep.
that jitter time, I'll call it, dropped down to like
considerably
15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
Cody got to the point, and you look at Cody, great example, league MVP, right?
Yep.
Caught more fish, yada, yada, yada. You watch the first 3-4 events of him, and it took him 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little shaky right off the bat.
To get dialed in.
Yep.
Once we got to the end of the year and you watch Cody realize what he's doing, how he's doing it, and
I was going to say,
and get that laser focus down.
Yeah.
Like our last couple matches, it was first cast, second cast, fish off.
You guys had a fish picked out before lines in, ready to go.
And I think it's hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, speaking for myself, I'm going to have jitters every event. Like, that's
just
not
the
something
format.
that's going to go away from me, you know. Because even before that clock starts ticking, you're thinking about that clock.
Yeah.
You know, how soon do you have to make that decision to move?
Yep.
And like even Nick and I last year, there's an event where we waited too long.
Yep.
You know, and we couldn't recover from it. So.
Right. Even that being said, though, I can tell you from my standpoint, sitting on this side of it, that those two teams were probably the most urgent.
Oh, absolutely.
If you go back and watch, they fished urgent the entire time more than anybody else did. And
absolutely.
they're critiquing themselves, saying, yeah, we probably could have been a little bit. But honestly, it was pretty.
They were 20 to 30 minutes before the curve.
They were
every
way
single
more.
time.
They didn't have any time where they weren't like focused and dialed in.
Yeah.
You guys were focused and dialed in.
Yeah.
A bigger percentage of time than any other teams.
We try to be as efficient as possible in the boat. I mean, if one guy's weighing, the other one's casting. You got to just keep
got to have a
driving.
line in the water.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's where the actual watching the video and watching a replay and going home and watching it the next day, or, you know, what were you guys doing in a boat to make it faster, to make it efficient?
Right.
And if you're not going to put in every aspect to get better, to up your game,
I don't know how you're going to outdo flipping them fish in the net.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, let's see some more of that.
Maybe a 4-bouncer this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, the fish
behind the back.
The fish got in the boat.
It was in the boat.
Got in the boat, and it got weighed.
Yep,
and it got
absolutely.
weighed. That was a day.
One more thing, and then we'll cycle to the next group of guys. But Andrew, we're coming to your. Fair to say where you learned how to fish for the championship?
For the most part.
Kind of cut your teeth up there. What's that dynamic going to be like? And is it an excited? Is it a nervous? I know you guys said that was the one you were most excited about.
Yeah, we're definitely excited for it. The big thing is just getting there.
Right.
You know, we have an entire year full of great anglers. We got to get through the first part of the year.
Absolutely.
You know, so we can't get too excited about fishing an event that we're not even in yet.
Yep.
So we're just going to keep our heads down and, you know, get there first, and then once we're there, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely,
it's a great fishery, and
I think it'll be an awesome championship.
Should be a great event.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, we are so pumped to have both of you guys back. We learned so much from both of you guys last year. We hope for more of it this year, and I got a feeling that we're going to be seeing both of you guys in Beta Knock at the end of the year.
Well,
not to put any pressure on anything.
Exactly.
But, I mean, you got to win on bagel. If you don't win on bagel, if you don't win on bagel, that's 3 losses. If you guys go out and shit the bed in one of the first 2 events, that's 4 losses.
Teddy Bear over here trying to
head right now.
He's
in front of us.
Season started.
Unreal.
I talk to Nick once a week. We've had this conversation before.
Nice.
But yeah, I literally think when we go to that final event, you're going to see teams at the 3-win mark, the 2-win mark.
Yeah.
Scratching to make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I mean, and every fish is going to count.
I mean, shortening the season only makes every single event more important.
You know, we went over it last year mathematically. You know, half the year's 3 and 4.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to have teams that actually they're going to make the playoffs with 3 wins.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
100%.
So I mean, I guess you can not win on bagel and make it again, but that would be
at least one.
That would be embarrassing.
There you
we'll
go.
get at least one for you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks, guys. It's 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Are we ahead now, or are we catch back up?
I don't know. These guys, man, we got so much to talk about. It's going to be such an incredible season this year. I'm looking forward to it. There's so much hype around the league right now that it's going to be a fun year no matter what.
It's great to see those guys just jacked up.
Yeah,
They're already jacked
absolutely.
up. I'm excited for it.
Yep. We got the next group of guys in here. I think that these two made a guest appearance last year in the championship, didn't they?
No, I had somebody else on the boat.
Ah, gotcha.
We were up there pre-fishing for Battle on the Bay.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Yeah, that's when we realized you guys were up there.
Yeah. Brody, how do you say the last name? I gotta get this right.
Barry Ochoa.
Barry Ochoa. Okay, got it. And Mike Boehm.
Yep.
Good deal.
Good to have you guys.
Yep.
Thanks.
Head-to-head newcomers, right?
Yeah,
Any head-to-head experience or just
watching on TV?
Good deal. Yeah. All right.
You guys spend some time on the bay, don't you? Quite a bit.
A lot. Yeah.
I was going to say they are not newcomers. You guys are both from southern Wisconsin, though, correct? Southern-ish.
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah, Columbus area.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
In Fremont, over.
What made you pull the trigger on head-to-head this season? What made you guys be like, we want to try it because it looks so much fun on TV, or what was it?
Honestly, the championship in Escanaba.
Yeah.
Because that's my baby up there. That's
Good
where
deal.
I like to fish. So
I'm hearing that from a lot of guys. This championship is going to be crazy.
It's going to be nuts.
When you get to a place like that at the right time of the year, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know, you're setting it up for a really good show, and I think everybody's excited about that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of my biggest reason. I don't know about Mike, though.
It's just all the different areas and stuff. And
yeah.
Hopefully have a good showing on the Winnebago system, because that's where I've, being from Berlin.
Yeah.
Mainly is
spent a lot of time on Bago.
Yeah, the whole system.
Upper Lakes, River, a bit of that.
Good deal.
So, and that's where I get my butt kicked, so he should...
Perfect.
It should be a match made in heaven.
Good little yin and yang there, absolutely.
Yeah, those May events, a lot of times the rivers and the Upper Lakes are going to be in play for sure. And then
100%.
Then we have one good June date for Winnebago, so I think we're going to see a lot of that system based on those dates.
Yeah, like we talked about, Bago could be the defining factor of the season, too. Because
that's what I'm hoping on. I mean,
right.
Because that's, doing a good showing on there and producing well on there is, I think, what's going to separate.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a lot of guys last year that were familiar with the bay and could catch fish and just kind of seemed to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And vice versa.
Right.
We had the
be
Kings, struggled mightily on the bay and then hadn't fished it much, and then the Kings went and they did okay on Winnebago as well. So you never know.
You got to put them both together.
Winnebago can humble anybody.
Absolutely.
That is the
bay can too.
Yeah,
100%.
Winnebago is more of a here today, gone tomorrow type.
Right.
Everybody's a hero on some days on Winnebago, and then they go, "What happened to my fish in the tournament?" So.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how everybody can handle that this year.
They're usually about 200 feet that way.
Yeah, exactly.
100
barely
100
missed them.
feet off.
Right. You guys.
Well, everything with the Winnebago system is, it can be too calm and it can be too rough. I mean, and you got to be able to adapt in both, whatever it comes down to.
How do you feel about the 4-hour shortened format and the only fishing against one other guy? Was that one of the selling factors for you guys with head-to-head, kind of a new taste? How do you think it's going to fit into your fishing style?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't...
It crunches the time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Crunches the time.
You got to be on a bite window for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's usually that 11 to 2 o'clock or 11 to 1. That bite's usually tough anywhere. So
right.
I think it should.
And the AM,
benefit.
the PM. I mean, if you're pre-fishing, you pre-fish in the afternoon. If you're fishing the AM,
right?
It may, especially on the Winnebago system, that makes a difference.
Yeah, sunlight,
absolutely.
time of day.
All of them fish want to bite.
100%, absolutely.
Wind too. The wind's going to be a huge factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That pushes them fish around quite a bit.
Absolutely. You guys both listed jigging, casting as your comfort zone, with or without the forward-facing technology. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we're going to be running a 622 Pro Ranger this year.
Okay.
So we got forward-facing on front, we got Garmin, and we got Garmin on back.
Good deal.
So,
you guys are prepared. We saw it play a lot last season, and obviously, just like all of fishing, it's changed everything that we do, from ice to bass to walleye, you name it. And we're excited to see these guys kind of adapt and try and figure out where it fits into their game plan, because like Nick said, we learned how to fish without it, and now it's become this whole new element to it that we're all kind of learning as we go.
Yeah, and I mean the first, I've been tournament fishing for about 6 years, and it seemed like the first 2 years I didn't get to play around with any of that stuff, but everybody else did.
Right.
And when I got it, that was a struggle for me, is to learn how to read them fish and the behaviors on, a big body of water. And I struggled for, 2 years running Garmin's and Live Scope, and I run Mega Live too. So I had both, the best of both worlds on my boat, 2 years ago. But yeah, it's a struggle. I mean, to figure that electronic game out, because it's
definitely a
whole
learning
different
curve.
word.
Absolutely.
Well, we fished the NWT series as a co-angler 2 years ago. So, and I fished every one of them.
Got to watch some of the best at work with it.
Right. Well, then jumping in, I went up pre-fishing 7, 8, 9 days ahead of time. Yep. But then jumping in a different boat, and everybody from Garmin to Lowrance and all that, and they're like, to try to to learn each one, how to dial them in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Get the, everybody has their own way of doing it, but so you kind of, that's where I first used Live Scope a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like up in the St. Mary's, first day out with Hoyer is
right. Yeah, quite the experience.
Right. It's to watch it is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good deal. We were just talking about it with the guys before you. The last two, that event 6 and 7, there's going to be a lot of people hustling for playoff spots and kind of jumbling, and it's a Bago event and a Bay event. So I think it'll be interesting with you guys got the yin and yang going on. Excited to see how that pressure excited to see how that pressure kind of plays on everybody, and excited to see what you guys can show the camera and kind of teach the audience and everything. So
we've never even fished. I just shook his hand for the first time today.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never.
Wow.
We're double rookies.
That'll be a fun dynamic in the boat too.
It'll be good though, having a Winnebago guy.
Yeah.
A guy that's comfortable on the Bago system and a guy that's comfortable on Green Bay. It should turn out pretty well for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we hope to see you guys at the end of the season in that playoff bracket. But we're glad to have you. Hopefully we can get this season kicked off sooner rather than later, get some ice off these places and get out on the water.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Are we going to have ice off by April 2nd?
Yeah, I don't know.
We still got to figure the boundaries out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we might, after the last interview, we might have to start some kind of a side pot on that ice,
Yeah.
All these guys are degenerate gamblers,
Right, exactly. They'll put it into anything.
We all are, right? Anybody for tournament fishing, so, I mean,
100%.
might as well put
It is a gamble.
a side pot on, get a side pot going for whether we're going to have ice on, ice off. We'll see.
Good enough.
Good deal, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Oh, I'm excited to talk to these two.
Got Joe John.
Welcome in, gentlemen. Boy, this mostly Mitch, but these.
Hi, guys.
Part of a hot button team last year.
Gentlemen is a loose word.
Right, exactly. Yep. Welcome in.
Thank you.
Glad to have you guys back. Was there any question whether you were coming back to head-to-head this season, Mitch?
Me? No.
No.
Love the format.
Just had to find someone else to jump in the boat with you. I'm excited to see.
Someone better.
He dug deep.
He dug deep.
Yeah, he dug deep. Well, good deal, guys. We're super pumped to get this season kicked off.
Last partner, Brandon, you probably just saw those 3 Winnebago events, and I'm out. I can't.
He's out here.
I cannot take that place for 3 more days.
No. He was actually kicking himself for not jumping in. I think he had different plans, and those fell through, so.
Dang.
It's all right. We got Kurt here.
Yeah.
We'll have a good season.
Kurt's got some experience on Winnebago and some experience on the Bay.
Yeah.
Should be a fun year. What are you guys looking forward to the most?
Championship.
Boy, that's a broken record.
It is, dude.
I mean, that's going to be awesome up in Beta.
Yeah.
Just got to make it. Just got to make it. That's
exactly.
It. Yeah.
And this was, I mean, you saw firsthand last season what head-to-head can be like, where you can put up the second highest weight of the day and just get beat by one other team, and it just so happened to be the guys that you were fishing against. So,
unfortunately, yeah.
Right. We were just talking about it with the other guys. That 7-week season is going to condense everything. Every event is going to be worth even more. Do you feel like you have the upper hand because you've already gone through a season of this and know what the pressure's like?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it was a mindset shift. I mean, everything tournament fishing is the 5 biggest fish.
Right.
And we got beat by a few people that just got on the right fish and got on a pile of them. So just switching that mindset with pre-fishing, I think to your point, the 7 weeks it's going to be short. It's going to be much shorter this season, but looking forward to it. I think there should be a little bit of an upper hand in strategy this year. So.
You guys both had a strong. You had a strong Bago finish. I know that you guys are probably looking forward to Bago this year.
Bago is what actually lit the fire for me to jump in this year. For
Really?
Sure. So I was able to sub with Mitch for one tournament last year.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, was there 10 other teams for that event, something like that? And we ended up with the biggest 5-fish bag of the entire day. And at the end of the day, it meant nothing.
Right.
Traditional tournaments is, 5 fish.
Yeah.
Man, at the end of the day, it means nothing. Well, now I'm fired up, and now I want to go crack this egg and get into something new and get something better figured out.
Yeah.
I got the drive.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to go and do something different.
Yeah.
There was definitely room, I think, for all these guys to figure out how to fish. I mean, it's always been that way.
Right.
Since the first one I fished, I fished one that I fished in the championship against Gofron, and it was just a terrible bite. He caught one. I caught one that was like a ounce or two under.
Dang.
It came down to one deal.
Yeah.
And you guys know how Winnebago can be, and I know it can turn out, and I want to see it turn out more than it did last year. We had a couple, we had a couple trolling bites that were pretty good last year, but it would be nice to see a really good jig bite turn out on Bago. And I know it can happen. There was actually a bite last year that I know that was missed, and I think that we'll see what happens this year.
He listed right on that angler interview that we did that his favorite thing to do is pitch jigs, no scope, not looking at them, just purely by feel.
Old school feel.
That'll be an interesting yin and yang with you in the front of the boat looking around maybe, or taking a page out of his book and shutting that thing off and just fishing by feel.
We've most of our experience fishing on Bago has just been by feel, so I'll be comfortable with that. But adding the live scope would be helpful too, just to find fish and go by feel from there.
It's been a talking point with the last couple of guys how big Bago's going to be in our season with the shortened season and stuff.
Well, we're going to see a lot of it because of those May dates. The May dates just brings all the upper lakes and river into it.
Yeah.
A lot more than maybe what we saw last year.
Right, and with this later year, I mean, we're going to be talking everything is delayed compared to last year. I think we're going to hit some of those bites really well on that system, better than we did last year.
I think so too. I think last year there were a lot of lake bites even early last year that we found, and who knows, I mean, time will tell, but it'd be fun to get up in the upper lakes and some of the river systems and have some fun up there too, because there's some special stuff up there you can get on.
Crazy numbers of fish if you hit it right.
Lots of numbers.
Yeah.
What do you think this is going to look like April 2nd? Are we going to be able to fish? Are we going to still have ice? Ted brought it up, and I was hoping that no one would talk about it and we wouldn't have to knock on wood, but we got more ice than we've had in years up here right now.
There'll be open water somewhere. It goes quick with a couple of days like this and some runoff to open up. And I think we'll be fishing.
That snow is going to be a lifesaver.
We'll be fishing.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I just hope we're not stuck in a river somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be that very well could be the case.
Right.
Yeah.
April 2nd's early, so we'll see. I mean, like Ted was saying, there's 20 inches on the bay right now.
Mm-hmm.
Water's low, so we're not looking at getting a crazy amount of runoff. But yeah, it's too. I know better. It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Anytime you think there's no way, Mother Nature will find a way, right?
Well, these two, Mitch, and I'm expecting it from these two, they were some of the funnest teams to watch last year. They were in the meat grinder for most of the season, head banging against the wall, had to make decisions on the fly. I think Mitch has maybe learned some things from last season for sure about the head-to-head format. I'm excited to watch this team work.
Yeah, I think, you guys had a lot of those days where you saw you make that change a little bit sooner, and maybe that's the deal. And I think having the experience is going to pay off quite a bit for you and for all the teams that are coming back, just that understand the format. You know how much of a pressure cooker it is, and it's just you have to make really quick decisions.
Yeah.
I'm confident that, the last 3 teams we've had that have been up here last year, these guys are going to have a little bit of a
leg up.
A little bit of a leg up, knowing how fast that goes and how fast you can make up ground, too, if you get on the right bites. So,
one thing from you guys this season, get in the dang playoff bracket.
That's the
Win
plan.
some matches, get in the dang playoff bracket because we want to watch you guys there. But we're super pumped to see you guys work. Glad that you're here with us at Head to Head, and thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate you guys.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to a good season, guys. Thanks
Good
for
deal.
coming in.
This place is packed, man. We got a bunch of people taking advantage. I don't think I've seen one of our guys not walking around with a bag of goodies.
Handfuls, armloads.
Exactly. Crazy. Just a reminder, we do have some good end of ice sales going on as well. We have a $100 gift card with any shelter in the store right now. This sale will run till the end of February. Take advantage of it. We still got a few here. A lot of them have left the place. You're going to use it next year. You're going to go ice fishing, and you might as well get a $100 gift card for it. So we are back on the bass subject. I believe that was the last walleye team that we have. Unfortunately, we will be cutting this thing off at 11:10, so we got to rifle through these guys. But
that's all right.
We finally got past Tyson. He took a half an hour talking about bananas and all of his boats and everything else. You know
with Tyson, it's bananas. With these two, it's nets.
Exactly right.
No nets. I'm jumping right into this. Are we using nets this year? I'm going to have a heart attack hauling it.
No nets this year.
Let's go. Team No Net.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Team No Net.
Good deal.
Team No Net. All right. Last year, how after the season, after you had some time, how are you feeling about last year? Did it leave you like, man?
Disappointed. Really disappointed.
Yeah.
I
Disappointed
think,
would be a good word of choice.
Yeah. I had to do. I think
I still haven't gone back to watch the last match.
Yeah.
That we lost because I was.
Dude, that was
upset about it.
You could feel the intensity in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's fishing, right?
Yeah.
It is. So, last year you guys, you hung out on a lot of the same stuff every tournament, and it never seemed to like really fire. What was the decision to keep grinding the same stuff?
Not giving away too much.
I was going to say their goodie bag looks like this.
Yeah.
And they pulled like 2 off the top that everybody else knew about and said, this is what we got. And then in the playoff bracket said, we got to start reaching in our bag of tricks, man.
Yep. Yeah, we did. We did. The first day we reached into our bag of tricks.
Yeah.
We knew we had to fish against Tyson and them.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to upset, so we pulled it off there. Second day, poor decision again, trying to hold some stuff back, and that kind of came back and bit us in the butt.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, going into this year, are you going to be more willing to reach into that bag as opposed to, to make sure you get some more wins, to make sure you get moving?
Definitely. Especially now that's not on our home body of water.
Yeah.
We got nothing to hide now.
No
sandbagging
this season. So.
No sandbagging. Yeah. This is a dangerous team with no sandbagging.
I got to tell you, last year, watching it was frustrating as hell.
Sat here and just
I'm just like, the sailboats again. I'm like, what are they doing?
Not Menasha again.
It's like Winnebago is your home body of water, for God's sakes. You know more than 3 spots. And it was just, so it was like, these guys aren't doing it, So this year, you guys are.
Trust me, I heard a lot from my son. I'm like, no,
I was like, not doing it. We know we can go over here and catch a couple pounds of meat. But, it's frustrating, but I mean,
You guys did squeak in last year. You checked the box that you wanted to. Right. Got in the playoff.
Yep.
Is that the same goal this year, or are you guys like, let's blow this thing up?
No. Our goal is
number one seed.
Number 1 seed. Get that first round bye and go for it.
Yep.
That's
good
the plan.
deal.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be soon. It's here. I mean, realistically, we're statistically a few weeks away from being able to get on Little Lake and, start scratching those itches. So it's going to be here quick.
You listed Little Lake as the one you're most looking forward to. Is that still your answer?
Yeah, you did. I believe I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Good deal. Ready to kick the season off.
I'm ready to kick it off.
Man, you guys did awesome last year on Little Lake.
Yeah, that was a fun one to watch.
It's going to be a little later than last year, but fishing's still going to be really good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
And you said Fox Lake.
Fox Lake.
Are you ready to strap up that big punching rod and go to work?
Fox Lake is a fun lake.
Yeah.
A lot of big largemouth in there, a lot of quality size, especially with the pound minimum.
Yeah, 1 pound minimum this year.
It's
a lot of action.
Awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that should be a fun one.
Little Sturgeon's going to be a fun one, too. Event number 3. I think we're going to see some insane weights there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You guys got to be looking forward to that one. I know you spend your fair bit of time up there.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun
The whole
one.
season's going to be fun.
Yeah.
The only one that we don't know or have any information on is High Falls.
High Falls.
So
that's
going to be a fun one.
It's a good wild card.
I'm looking forward to that one because that one's known for it's got some great smallmouth in it. It also has some unbelievable largemouth fishing in it.
And it can be fickle. We might see a grinder.
It can be fickle, but if they pull current, when we're there, fingers crossed.
Game on.
Those smallies are just.
Yep.
Don't tell me that, because I'm going to be like focused on smallies, and he's like, Dad, we got to go get the large fish. I'm like, no, we got to find the pound ones.
Well, there's a big bay called Bass Bay back there.
Yeah.
And it is. You go and look at it, you just start drooling.
Yeah.
You're like, wow. So,
yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff.
Obviously, you guys, the goal is to #1 seed, so we're planning on making the playoffs. What is the experience on the Wapaka chain? Because that one's kind of a hitch, too.
Yeah, I don't have much experience out there. I've only had a
Neither do
handful
I.
of days out there, so like I told my kid, let's make it first, and we'll worry about
Yeah.
later.
It's a good mentality to have.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you guys, you're fishermen, right? There's some guys that are just. It doesn't matter if it's bass, walleye, trout. You know, it's just you guys are fishermen.
Yeah, they're fishy
and
dudes.
So getting out there, reacting to what the fish are doing now. Sometimes you can get, we're months away from it.
Yeah.
You can spend so much time worrying about it. Really, it's just when you get there, how to adjust to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, good deal.
Yeah, the whole season, it's not about winning all the time. It's just going to be about making memories with my kid. So
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully there's wins along with making memories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
there's
some
ups and
nets.
downs, right? There's ups and downs. Too,
Nets.
So.
No. Scoop every last one of them.
We're going to have a heart
Good
attack.
deal. All right.
I'm going to give you a net.
Well, I tell you what, we are pumped to have you guys back fishing head-to-head. You guys were a fan favorite
Glad to
last
be
year,
back. Yep.
and we cannot wait to get this season kicked off on Little Lake with you guys.
Absolutely.
We'll be in the boat come lines in.
All right, best of luck to you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, I think we got some guys that are coming in.
It's the Birdman.
Oh,
It's the Birdman.
Oh, we get to relive the attack of the bird.
Yes, good deal.
So that was more like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, it was. That was wild. Tell me how excited we are to not be on Bago for every event this season.
Huge.
Huge. Major.
I'm expecting big things out of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a big difference this year not being at Winnebago. That was like a prison sentence being there every time.
Yeah. I remember when you guys came in after that first playoff event, you told me straight up, there's no question we are coming back to fish head-to-head. This is the most awesome format we've ever fished, some of the funnest fishing. Any question now coming into this point of the season, seeing the anglers that we got? Are you guys ready for the challenge?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can't. There's no way we're going to do as bad as we did last year. Last year was a struggle bus for us.
Yeah, it was.
But we still ended up with 6th place. Right. And we struggled. And, not fishing together before and keeping it together and finishing where we did. And looking at the schedule for this year, I have high hopes for this year.
I was going to say, you got to have Little Sturgeon circled on the calendar because you guys are both Bay guys.
And you're comfortable with that big water.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but the problem is I heard that we're going to be restricted. So
a little bit.
I was planning on going way north and getting into pre-spawn fish.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be bed fishing. I don't like bed fishing, but it's something I'm going to have to do.
Yeah.
So that was kind of threw me for a loop today, but
right.
We're just going to have to adjust.
Yeah. You guys, obviously, goals for the season. Improve on last year as #1 seed in the sites for this season.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Trying to break some records.
Yeah, oh, definitely. We're trying to beat the single day for sure, which
Good
I think
deal.
there's a good chance that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too worried come this year. I feel pretty confident still with everyone that's in it.
It's a good finessey schedule this year too.
Right.
I know that you guys are both comfortable with the spinning rod in hand. We got a lot of spinning rod locations on the map.
Well, Bago, the way it's set up last year, I don't think we had better than 1.5 foot clarity.
Yeah, it was always dirty.
It was so dirty, and when it comes to smallies, you need clean water.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these systems, like Big Green, even High Falls, Sturgeon Bay, and hopefully Bago in the springtime is usually cleaner than later in the year. So I got a lot better high hopes for this year.
How do you feel about that event 7 on the river? I know that you guys kind of played in the river a little bit, had that one dink win, but it sounded like pre-fish was pretty good. Are you guys ready to get back to the river?
No. No. I mean, we're going to do what we can on the river.
Yeah.
We had some largemouth actually going, good frog bite, and everything just kind of changed. But
yeah, that's probably the event we're least looking forward to, is being on the river.
Yeah.
Especially going to be against Tyson, where that's what he fishes,
right.
the river.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll give it a go for sure.
You're going to be dropping some bananas off for that event?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You bet. He ain't going to know it. We're going to do a drive-by.
Good deal. Well, goals for the season, less birds, more bass.
Yes.
Towards the top,
man.
Less grinders this season. Let's get out there. Let's put some fish on the board and make a run at this deal, guys.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. 2 birds, that was too many.
Too many.
Well,
Yeah.
I just wish we would have had that one on video when you took the seagull to the
seagull
chest.
to the chest.
We're doing 68 miles an hour, and he took a seagull to the chest.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Yeah, I got hit by a seagull when we were driving, too.
Cross Bago.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So we went through a flock of probably
he's
2,000
driving.
seagulls, and we came unscathed. We didn't hit a single one. And then on the way back, after we were done with the tournament, there's one seagull. He's flying away and decides, so let's go run into these guys. Clipped the trolling motor, did like a 360, and then hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
Did it like knock the wind out of you?
Yeah, there's feathers and. Luckily, I forgot my life vest because I just used the ones that blow up. So I had one of his, so it was a thicker padded one.
Yeah.
That really would have done number.
Right.
So what was the fate of the bird?
I don't think he made it.
No, he was done.
He left his mark on you, though. The white patch on your neck.
Yeah, there was.
He left a mark on
Bird, you know, all over my face.
Oh, God.
That was the first time I ever smoked a seagull. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
But funny enough, probably like 2 weeks earlier, I was fishing on the bay, and I was driving, and I had one where I had to duck down. It almost came over the windshield, hit me in my boat.
Oh, no.
It was not a good year on birds.
Less birds this
Less
season,
birds, 'cause
boys.
they wanted
less
bad.
birds. Yeah.
That was that's unreal. That's unreal.
Well, you guys were a super fun team to watch last year with the 1 pound minimum instead of the 2. I think that championship looks a whole lot different.
Yeah, it does.
Right, I think 1 pound, we win that playoff matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Easily.
Yep.
We were catching fish almost every other cast.
Yeah.
It was
You guys had a
nonstop.
lot of
Probably
fish.
over 50 fish we smoked that
it was,
day.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be huge for this year. Different strategy.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you could catch 5 1-pounders in the span of someone could catch 1 5-pounder all day long.
Well, good deal, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you back with Head to Head. You guys were a fun team to watch last year, and we're looking for second season redemption this year.
That's the plan.
Oh, yeah.
Good deal.
All right.
All right.
Best of
Thanks,
luck.
guys.
Hey, buddy.
4. The Young Guns. Defending
Young Guns.
champs. They're back.
One half
of the
defending
defending
champs.
champs.
Riley, how you been?
I'm doing good. How you been?
Good. So what was, after winning that championship last year, what has that done for you as far as confidence, ability, drive?
Yeah, I mean, obviously confidence way through the roof. I mean, did something that I never even thought I could do, and
yeah.
bunch of people reaching out to you, and that's how I meet a lot of the guys that are fishing it now, like people you never knew saying congratulations, and they're like people that are fishing these bigger events, and it's like now you know so many more people, and obviously now I feel a lot more confident on Winnebago for any more times I go, and it's pretty awesome to have experienced that and this feeling of overall feeling of accomplishment on it.
Yeah.
You guys are both high school anglers yet, right?
I graduated last
year. Graduated last year?
I'm still a senior, so I'm
Gotcha.
last year. Yep.
Good deal. College in the picture for you guys, or are you going to keep it around the house?
Around the house. Yeah,
Good deal.
I'll keep it around the house, at least for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay local, yep.
Good deal. Well, I think I am most excited to watch the youngest team kind of learn on the water, learn on the fly, see what we can do against the Grizzly veterans. Obviously, I'm a younger guy myself, so you got a fan in me right off the bat.
Yeah, huh?
So,
yeah, I think it's going to be fun to go up against the more experienced veteran guys and obviously learn stuff from them after it, but it's like we fish together and we know each other fish, so I think we can blend well together.
You guys spent a pretty good bit of time together in the boat?
Yeah.
Good deal.
That's awesome. So what are you looking most forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to Little Surgeon. I like that finesse fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to whack them on there.
I was going to say, like we just talked about with Warden Keene, this is kind of a finesse-y type schedule for sure. With the 1 pound minimum and stuff, I think it's going to be high-scoring matches, a lot of spinning rod stuff, and a lot of really tight matches.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't need to go looking for your best 5. You can just catch 2-pounders all day. I mean, that'll definitely win it, especially with us. Like, we grew up like 15 minutes from the bay.
Yeah.
Being able to fish ones like that will be pretty nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys, when you fish with Brian, cycled a lot of the same water. Are you going to stick with what's working, or you think you're going to jump around a little bit? Obviously, this season you're going to have to spread out. What's your experience on the bodies of water we're going to? You seen a lot of them or no?
I've seen most of them, other than haven't been to Green Lake and haven't been to Fox. But as far as being able to go there and just figure it out, take a couple of days to pre-fish and just figure it out. But other than that, just find the 1 pound minimums. And I think, yes, if it's working, no reason to fix it, no reason to go look for anything else. I mean, for what we did last year, I mean, it works. And, why stray from it if it always works,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited to see what these young guns can do.
I am too.
Man.
It's going to be fun to see. You guys running on your own. Last year, Brian, you was a pretty.
There's some tough love going on.
Well, there was tough love, but also I think he did a lot more of the direction of what you guys were going to do. It's going to be fun to see what you see, what you both see, how you work together, because you've proven it. You got the skills, you got the ability. You had the a couple times last minute, last second fish,
ones,
right. So it's I agree. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm excited too. I mean, we fished plenty together, so I think we'll be able to blend. He's good with largemouth. I'm pretty good with smallmouth, so being able to have both of those, I think it'll be fun, and we'll be able to find them and hopefully catch them.
Good deal.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys don't think you're going to crack under the pressure, do you?
No.
Obviously.
I don't know. Hopefully not.
Live camera in the boat.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Hopefully we can live up to the expectations.
Yeah. Well, we are pumped to have you guys back fishing head-to-head. We're glad to have the young blood here, and we can't wait to get this season started back on Little Lake and see what you guys can do.
Same here. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. Best of luck, guys.
Yeah,
Good deal, gentlemen.
All right. Who do we got left?
We got Hank the Hammer in the house.
Uh-oh.
Matt, Stefan.
Guys, you want these on, I assume?
Yeah.
Need help?
You might have to shrink him. That last kid had a big head.
One of those. The kids, they know all about the live scope technology. They got it all under control.
Yeah, he's going to carry the team next year.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
He's quite the fish catcher.
We've had him in training now for, what do we got? Well, you're 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's been fishing tournaments since he's 2. Last year during our Wednesday nighters, he definitely carried the team by catching at least half the fish.
Good deal.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, we're super pumped to have both of you fishing head-to-head this year. This dynamic in the boat is going to be a fun one to watch. And obviously, with your track record fishing all across the country, I've known you for a long time through the high school youth stuff, coming to talk to the kids. And with your experience on the water, teaching your boy while you go, I think it's going to be a super fun dynamic to watch.
We are purely doing this for enjoyment purposes. We have not seen. I don't think I have fished any of the lakes. Maybe, I guess Sturgeon Bay I've fished, but we're just going to roll up. We're going to fish it. We're going to have a good time. We're going to try to do it the right way and see what happens. I don't really have high expectations. I'm really looking at it from an enjoyment standpoint, and then we'll probably try to make some content for the YouTube channel on top of that, and it'll be interesting. I'm a little concerned with getting up early, driving the hour and a half or whatever it is to the lakes, and then having to deal with him the next day. It could be an interesting time.
Right.
What do you think? Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What events are you looking forward to the most?
You got any lakes specifically? I don't even know if he knows the full schedule. Honestly, I don't even know the full schedule. Yeah. But if we make the championship, Hank, we fish Wapaka.
Mm-hmm.
We like Wapaka. You've been on Sturgeon Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one that we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to some of the lakes, well, most of the lakes that I haven't seen, but like High Falls is one that I've heard a lot about, never fished it. Fox Lake, I've heard, can be pretty good. Never been down there. And it's always just fun to try to break the lake down like during the moment. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
So you got some MLF experience. Obviously, you fished BPT last year. You've been in the invitationals. Now you're in the opens. How does this format compare to how anything else you feel like you're going to be pretty comfortable?
So, I'm really comfortable with the format of like the total weight idea. The interesting part will be the head-to-head aspect, right? Like, I don't know that I've ever actually been paired against like another team and said, okay, it's head-to-head. You're going up against them. It's always, you're looking, like with the BPT last year, you see the leaderboard, you see everyone moving. And in this case, we're only concerned with one other team for that day.
Right.
So that'll be a cool format. Yeah, I mean, I've always been an angler where it's like, tell me what the rules are, tell me what you want to do, and we'll go for it. And
yeah,
in this case, we'll have some pretty stiff competition in a direct head-to-head matchup, and that'll be fun.
You pumped about the 4-hour format? Everything's kind of shrunk. It's going to be pretty fast-paced.
Having not seen the lakes, I'm not super pumped about that.
Right.
I feel like it could take 4 hours to figure it out. But yeah, no, it'll be neat because we're fishing Wednesdays. And then what do we got back home on Wednesdays?
Wednesday nighters.
Wednesday nighters.
Yeah.
So we might be doing a little double dipping where we've got the head-to-head, and then we'll drive home. We'll pick up Duke, my other little boy, and then we go fish a 3-man Wednesday nighter. So
Yeah.
it'll be long Wednesdays for me.
Yeah, a lot of bass fishing. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm not complaining.
Not at
Wednesday
all.
is Bass Thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't say that fast. Bass Thumb Wednesday.
Bass Thumb Wednesday. I like that. Well, we are super pumped to have you guys. Obviously, if you're not following Matt Steffen on YouTube, he's dropping all the nuggets on his YouTube channel, documenting his tournament journeys. You can learn a lot from this guy, and we're pumped to have you bring all of that informational stuff to head-to-head, kind of lay it out for our viewers and give us a really in-depth look at what you're thinking about the body of water.
Yeah, we're super excited to be involved in this. We've seen it the last couple of years, watched it ourselves, so to be able to be involved now is great. And amazingly, the schedule worked out pretty well where we could make it happen. So, yeah, we're going to go out, have some fun. He's just pretty chillaxed right now. Man, a few words.
Right.
Apparently saving it for the on the water.
The smack talk.
I got a feeling that the smack talk.
The psychological games.
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah.
He's just looking pretty confident right now.
He may not look intimidating, but when he picks up that Ozark rig or the tush, any of it.
Hank, what did you find here? What did we just buy a bunch of?
Pit Boss.
What color?
Watermelon, orange.
Yeah. So you guys, we've been looking for the 3-inch power bait, the Berkeley power bait Pit Boss.
Yep.
For years, they had his favorite color. It's the watermelon orange flake.
Yep.
They discontinued a couple years ago, and every shop we go into, he's always looking. And well, we just bought 7 bags. He cleaned out your peg from it, so he's ready to go. That'll be.
That's awesome.
He's a Pit Boss on a core tackle hover rig guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he'll drag that thing around. And
whatever gives you confidence to stay in it, right?
That's right. Well, we're super pumped to watch these guys work. I think it's going to be an awesome season learning from these guys, and don't let them make the championship because I've seen them work on the Wapaka chain, and these guys are going to be a problem if they make the bracket.
We do like the Wapaka chain.
It's a fun pond.
It is a good
awesome.
Good deal, gentlemen.
We're
looking forward to the season. Good luck.
Yeah.
There we go. We got a couple more head-to-head rookies coming in right now. By no means rookies at all. These two have been working together, fishing the BFLs, getting your feet wet a little bit. Mm-hmm. Is this going to be like a long play type deal? You want to try and make it pro one day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good deal.
Trying to go pro.
You got the look, man. Yeah. I went to college with a lot of guys that look just like you. It's pretty damn good at catching bass.
Thank you.
What is your initial goals coming into the season this year? Just have a good time, see how it works out, or are you going for the throat? You want that #1 seed?
Want to win.
We want to win.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
You guys are coming from kind of northeastern Wisconsin, that Chippewa Falls kind of area up there, right?
Yep. Medford, yep.
Okay.
Yep, you're right there.
All right. Wow. Miller Dam, home fishery.
Yes, sir.
It's a good learning pond.
Yeah.
What is your experience on the places that we're going for head-to-head this season? You guys seen any of the places before or not really?
Bago. I fished Bago and a couple BFLs. And
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Other than
I
that,
haven't
it's pretty.
seen much.
It's pretty. We haven't fished a lot of
Yeah, clean slate. Get to break them down on the fly. You guys planning on pre-fishing for most of them, obviously? Good
I
deal.
would say we're going to try it.
Good deal.
So what made you guys want to jump in and be part of the head-to-head format?
Oh, the competition and just, I don't know, this is kind of cool.
We don't fish this stuff ever like 1 pound or whatever. It's going to be, all the fish instead of just 5 fish.
Yeah.
It should be different. And
that's what we heard
exposure
might
for
happen, but
sponsors and
yeah.
stuff.
Right. Another father and son duo. These are always fun to watch in the boat.
Yeah.
How's the dynamic? You guys spent a lot of time in the boat together. You work well together. I know when me and my dad get in the boat, it's like this.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be that way.
Yeah.
We managed to figure it out now.
Good deal.
I don't know how it's going to be with 2 people in the front deck. We'll see.
Yeah.
We might throw them in the water. You just never know.
Elbows start flying.
Oh, yeah. Stealing my fish. You know?
So do you guys fish similar styles, or do you complement each other with doing something a little different, or?
He's finesse. He's pretty finesse. Like, he likes dragging jigs. It's shaky heads type thing, and I'm more power fishing. So it works well. If I'm catching them, he might not be, and if he's catching them, I might not be.
Yeah, that's a great 1-2 combo.
Absolutely. You fished a lot on the Mississippi River doing the BFLs and stuff. Obviously pretty comfortable river fishing.
Yeah.
Got Wolf River circled on the schedule. Is that the one you're definitely looking forward to the most?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Reading current, the whole 9. Good deal. Anything else that you're kind of afraid of on the schedule that you might have never seen before? Or?
Green Lake, I guess. It's deep, and it's
a big pond.
Yeah, I never fished it, so it's just.
Green Lake is kind of mythical.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's deep and diverse.
Lady Bago can be kind of tricky too, as we saw last year. But
That's what I heard. Yeah.
We're gonna kick it off with a slugfest on Little Lake, so you guys will be excited to get that one started. Kind of a smaller body of water. We might have guys fishing on top of each other, but I think it'll fit that shallow power fishing stoop.
We're kind of used to that.
Yep.
So not a problem.
Well, good deal, guys.
Excited, yeah.
We're super pumped to have you guys fishing head-to-head this year, and I can't wait to see what you guys can do. You got a track record of catching them, so I don't think it'll stop at head-to-head.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope not.
Good deal.
All right.
Awesome. Best of luck
Good luck
this year.
this year,
Welcome
guys.
aboard.
One more? All right.
The last duo coming in.
And one of these just made a pretty big announcement on social media yesterday. It's going a long ways away to go try and reel in some bass. I've done it one time before. He might be going the same place that I did. It's a long ways away, but I think he'll get his feet under him.
It's
Ben
not
and Brian
It's not
Tesh.
me. It's not me.
It's
I'm
not
too
him.
old.
Exactly. They cut him off. Welcome in, guys.
How's it going?
So, first off, right off the bat, what made you say, let's jump into head-to-head this year, let's see what happens? Obviously, the father and son dynamic's going to be a fun one to follow in the boat, but was there anything else that you were like, we got to try this?
Just the past couple of years watching it, I've really fallen in love with like the head-to-head aspect, going up against one other team. And
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
That short format, 4 hours, every fish counts.
Yep.
You got one circled on the schedule. I know you guys are Bay guys, but you're also from Winneconne,
Yeah.
so the river's got to be on there.
Yep.
Upper Lake's got to be on there.
Really excited for Sturgeon Bay, but also looking forward to the home body of water and defending some turf. And going after it.
We got 2 of them there. We got the river and the lake, and I know that you guys can catch them both ways, so it'll be no problem at all. So, talk a little bit about your announcement. A couple weeks ago, you went down south, and now you're going.
Yeah, so just recently I've been talking to some colleges. I've really wanted to fish in college. Like, it's kind of been one of the big goals of mine, and fell in love with Montevallo, and that's where we're going.
It'll do that to you.
Yep.
It's a cool place, man. I think you're really going to enjoy it down there. Obviously, you hit up the Main Street Tavern, got you a burger.
Oh, yeah.
It's a place to be, man. I'm telling you that right now. You were one of the few people who listed forward-facing sonar, shaking a minnow as your strong suit. There's some places where that might not be exposed yet that I definitely feel like it's going to play. Is that something you're excited to play with this season?
Yeah, I've been working on that the past couple of years, falling in love with forward-facing sonar, and it's one of my strong suits, I think. But really looking forward to implementing that into our game and showing some people about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that too.
Yeah.
You know, last year we didn't really see much of it.
Not much at all.
So coming in, if that's a bullet you got in the gun, that could be a pretty powerful bullet, especially, you know, depending on conditions. You know, you look at forward-facing sonar, you go to a place like the Bay. Well, if it's windy and you can't use your eyes, you got to rely on something. You know,
absolutely.
So that's where it can really. It can be an
X factor, and if you guys are comfortable with it, it's definitely something that has not been exposed yet on head-to-head.
Nope.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys use forward-facing sonar a very specific way, but when you start thinking about little sturgeon during the spawn, you use it a little bit different, right? You know, and I think that's a piece that will be very interesting for a lot of the viewers to see is how you use it different ways. You know, and how you use it in conjunction with very specific tactics.
Absolutely.
That, I think a lot of people aren't quite doing. Well, some of them are. We know who they are.
Right.
But it'll be cool.
Yeah. You listed, Brian, that one of your goals this season was just to spend time in the boat with your boy. How excited are you to see that dynamic kind of come through and hopefully knock off some victories with your son?
Well, we've fished quite a bit, so far.
Yep.
He went with me every time I went fishing since he was probably 3 or 4 years old.
Good deal.
And, I think that's going to be a big factor for us is, we fish in the same boat together 100 or more days a year.
Yep.
And if you think about, going back 12 or 15 years.
It's a lot of days on the water.
He knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking. Like, if he's doing something up in the front of the boat on the trolling motor, like, I know what's next.
Yeah.
And he knows what's next. So, that I think is going to be a very interesting thing. Like, we can look at each other and we know what's next.
Yep.
So that'll be exciting, and I knew all along that, he was going to be moving to fish at the next level somewhere.
Yep.
And this will be the last summer he's home.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big reason why we wanted to do it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, good deal, guys. We are super pumped to have you. This is a dynamic that I can't wait to see in the boat. I know that you guys are going to be there once playoff time comes. You're going to be a problem all season. So we're excited to have you guys here fishing with us, and we can't wait to get this season started on Little Lake with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
Awesome.
Thank
Good
you.
deal.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that wraps them up, Mr. Cleveland.
I think it does, man. I tell you what, I'm excited. You look at the new people that are coming in this year, just for bass. You look at the new people that are coming in for walleye.
Yeah.
Whether you're a walleye fan, whether you're a bass fan, or whether you are just a fishing fanatic, this is going to be a great year.
Absolutely.
I really like the adjustments that the bass side has made.
Yeah.
I like that 1 pound drop. Last year we saw a lot of fish caught, but we didn't get to see the scoreboard reflect that. This year, we're going to see the scoreboard move. We're going to see a lot of matches that are going to be pretty intense.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to it. You guys during the off season have made some incredible adjustments. The schedule alone for bass is fantastic.
Absolutely,
I think it is. If you were to come up with a schedule for the times, you did it.
Yeah.
Each time of the year, it's going to be a fun year. Can't wait to get it started.
I can't wait to get back in the studio with you and talk some fishing, man. This is going to be a fun year.
It is.
If you are watching at home, please, we got 25% off all walleye and bass, plastics, and hard baits going on from now until the end of this week, until Saturday. Come in, take advantage of the savings. That's all we got from Head to Head. We'll check back with you guys hopefully April 2nd for the first Head to Head Walleye League event of the year. Until then, guys, have a good one. We'll see you then.